What up, everyone? Oh my gosh. Literally the entire time. Oh, Leon's muted. The entire time we were waiting for this to start, Jet has been fucking yelling in the background, barking, I mean. So if you guys hear any of that, my sincerest apologies. But hey guys, welcome back to the 2REAL4FEELS podcast, where we do not give a fuck about your feelings. Yes, that's how we roll here, but I am super excited because we have an amazing group of people that I've managed to assemble. Yes, as a libertarian, being a collectivist is kind of not really a thing. So the fact that I managed to collect all of you, I have to give a thumbs up to myself. But what is up, everyone? Hope all is well. Atreus, what's good with you, bro? I don't know if you want to give people a little brief, introduction to you, what you do, and why you are here. But shoot, bro.
Yeah. So my name's Atreus. I am a YouTuber, content creator, writer. I'm all of these different things. But mainly, I'm a professional shit talker. So I'm here to talk shit. I might be talking shit about politics. I might be talking shit about, sports. I might be talking shit about anything. So, holla at your boy. And I'm just here to talk shit about games this time. With my girl Cassie. You already know what it is, man. Let's get it.
That's dope, man. I appreciate you pulling up. And Leon, sir, first off, why are you hitting the super chat button, bro? You're present here, sir. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I like supporting my girl. I try and send you a super chat every time every time I catch you on 2REAL4FEELS. I figure I gotta keep the tradition going.
I'll send one if they accept EBT.
Oh my gosh. Well, you totally didn't have to. You literally said put this towards your Sonic Superstars budget because you better buy it. Yeah, I have to buy that game. That game looks sick. But
my girl,
bro, I don't
my girl.
Give the chat a brief description of what you do and just about you, bro. Shoot.
Yeah. No, first of all, I just want to say, I'm gonna suck your dick for a moment, which is fine because everyone thinks you're trans anyway. But this is
whoa.
May I ever since I was like a 200 subscriber channel. I love being on SNH. It's my favorite, but I've been wanting to come on here since I'm like a 200 sub channel. So now that I'm way past that, can finally come on. This is like a YouTube dream come true. So thank you for bringing me on, Cass.
Hey, at least we know how he keeps his hair pretty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great condition.
Yeah,
great conditioning. Wink, wink, wink.
AJ Styles Jr. I mean, what?
That's right.
Yeah, man. I cover nerd news through a political lens, whether it be left, right, anti-woke, woke, whatever you want. Just I cover from every angle. Sometimes I cover stuff positive. I feel like we need more positivity on YouTube in the nerd space. But other than that, I drop videos nearly every day about nerd culture and how it relates to politics. So check me out at Words of Paradise. You might find something interesting.
Hell yeah. And yo, another person I'm super hyped to have on the pod, Mugen Lord, bro. Honestly, I was like, bro, I watched your video the other day, and I'm like, I'd be fucking sick if Mugen could come on. And it's I've been wanting, have you on the channel, but I try to pick a person that fits best. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck all this waiting for a topic. I will make the fucking topic. I will make your fucking video the topic because I think it is very deserving of so. But Mugen, definitely introduce yourself. Tell the people what you're all about. And,
okay, got you. All right. Well, my name is Mugen Lord. I have the name Mugen is because my YouTube channel. I started YouTube around, I believe, 2007. I'm a veteran. I've been around for a very long time, and Mugen is pretty much a fighting game engine. You're allowed to create your own fighting games and everything.
Mugen?
Yeah, Mugen. Yeah. So yeah, I started doing that at first, and I coined the name Mugen Lord. And from there, I just been creating a ton of Mugen content, but then stepped away, went to college, and then became a father, dropped out of school for a little bit, and came back to YouTube, and YouTube became a whole different platform. And I started just I want to get away from Mugen and just start talking about video games, covering video game content. And then I took another hiatus and went back to college and finished college and got my bachelor's degree in business administration and came back. Everything got political. I came back in 2014. That's when Gamergate became a thing. And everything just went left field after that. And I love video games. I'm passionate so much about it. And I'm starting to see it affect my entertainment and affect what I enjoy. And I just became passionate and wanted to talk about it and just call these things out. And I've just been doing it ever since. So my channel, it's a variety channel, cover video games, and I hit some political stuff here and there. So and that's pretty much
funny because I literally just saw this video come across my feed the other day. The Western developers' ugliest depiction of women. I saw it and I was like, I never heard of this guy before. And I was like, I saw it. The only reason I didn't watch it because I was about to go to work and it was 35 minutes long. I was like, ain't no way I have time to watch that.
It's a really good video. So guys, in the description below, I have like directly added all 3 of these individuals' YouTube channels, and I will definitely be posting like all your stuff you know, when we come close to the end of the stream. But if you guys want to go sub to all 3 of these guys, it is a direct link in the description below. I have like @ and then your name, and so definitely check them out. I really appreciate and respect all 3 of you guys and what you got going on. And it's a lot of entertainment all around. And overall, I'm really happy to have all 3 of you here. And we got the homie TJ, y'all. I was like, oh man, I hope TJ pulls up because we're gonna talk Sonic, and you a Sonic dude and Spider-Man. So yo, TJ, how you been, bro? How's it going?
I'm good. I actually had to like run out and go grab something right before I pulled up, so I made it just in time.
That's what's up, bro. Appreciate you pulling up. And Oz, what's good with you, bro? Glad to have you on.
I'll let you. Some scumbags.
Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the homies in the chat. I appreciate everyone that's pulling up. If you can, hit the like button for me. It really helps me out. Appreciate you pulling up. Astro, obviously, Words of Paradise. Code J-Man, appreciate you pulling up, fam. Jacob, good to see you. Drewy, always good to see, man. He wants to party. Rocky, he's always ready to throw hands when he pulls up to the chat. Appreciate you pulling up, bro. Hey, Hustle. Yo, Hustle, what's good with you, fam? It's always good to see you. Appreciate you. Doba Fett, good to see you. Macaroni Tony. G, apparently he also can confirm that I am indeed not trans. I am a biological woman.
People think I'm trans.
The opportunity, I had to take it. Look, I had 2 jokes in mind. I figured that was the more tame of the 2. So,
oh man, I have to wonder low key what was the other one. But
I'm sure I'll find a way to work it in later tonight.
East heard you drop that bomb, and he was just like,
said.
"What the fuck, bro?" But East is always good to see you, fam. And we got Atreus chilling in the chat. And Livewire, he's cooking burgers. Hey, appreciate you listening to us degenerates. RC thinks that we're lame. No, RC's a good dude. And Angelo, what's good? And Nova Goodall.
Oh, my boy Nova. There we go.
Hey, appreciate everyone pulling up. Hey, and Hustle says TJ is one of the most coolest people in our community. Yo, TJ cold as fucking ice. Okay, he's so fucking chill, man. He keeps my Diet Coke cold. Hell yeah, man. But before we do start the show, I tend to, just want to ask a general question. What's everyone been playing? What's everyone been watching? What has piqued y'all's interest as of late? Atreus, shoot, bro. What you been playing? What you been watching?
Obviously, I've been playing Diablo. I've been trying to get into the original Dragon's Dogma game. I bought it off of Steam, and then I'm playing this, but I'm only playing this because I tend to play this when I'm editing videos or when I'm trying to do something. I need to have my attention more focused somewhere else because obviously, this guy's turn has been going for the entire introductions. I don't know if y'all see this bullshit, but this is why, like, when I came back to Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm fucking appalled. Like, this guy's turn has lasted literally about 7 or 8 minutes. He's still going.
That's why I tell you, play Magic.
This is why I
stop
quit.
This Yu-Gi-Oh bullshit and play Magic.
This is why I refuse to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, back when we had the GBA version of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like one match would last about 10 minutes, give or take. Now, one fucking round lasts about 20 minutes. I'm good, bro. I'm fucking out. Okay.
Yeah, so I never played any of the console Yu-Gi-Ohs. I had a deck, so I used to battle it in the lunchroom in high school and stuff like
Hell yeah.
that. So the consoles, I have no clue how that stuff worked.
Yeah, I feel you. But that's all you've been up to, Atreus?
No, I play a few other things here and there, Wild Hearts and stuff like that. But it's not much time to do anything else.
Cool. So real quick, Code here says first time I came across your channel was the video you made on physical media. Subscribed immediately after that and had to tune into the podcast when you got my boy Moogie Lord on. Hell yeah, bro! That's what's up, man. I'm glad that you find interest in everything we got going on here, man. For real, for real. But yo, Leon, what you been playing? What you been watching? What has piqued your interest as of late, good sir?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm playing the same things I'm almost always playing. I'm going hard on Smash, trying to get that, that game up. That way I can get back to going to tournaments. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering lately for the same reason, playing a lot of tournaments. As for what I've been watching, I'm going to start Sonic Prime tonight, Season 2, because Season 1 I have some opinions about, so I'm hoping Season 2 sort of gives me some new perspective. And then tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., your boy's got his Oppenheimer tickets.
Nice, nice. I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope it's a fucking banger because I think this year I think we all need some good entertainment.
By definition, I think it's gonna be a banger, just given the subject matter. Just
Exactly, bro. That's the point.
What the hell? What the hell's Oppenheimer?
It's
I swear to Christ, I knew what it was gonna be like streaming with you, but even so.
Next. Yo, Mugen, what you been playing? What you been watching? What has piqued your interest as of late, good sir?
Oh my god. As far as what I've been playing, I haven't really been playing anything. I've just been so busy. I had bought Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch when it launched. Turned it on, played it like the first 2 hours, and then got caught up in my content creation doing YouTube videos and never went back to it. By the time I tried to turn it back on, Final Fantasy 16 released. And then I started playing Final Fantasy 16 and just been busy again and then dropped that game. So I just been like all over the place. I have a whole huge backlog. I have Fire Emblem engaged. I still haven't played yet. And I've been just trying to catch up with more YouTube content. I'm also a 3D hentai animator, so I have a big audience over there. So I've been creating and working on content on that side of things, and that's been holding me up. And I own a comic book company too. So I've been talking to my artists and everything.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm about to release a comic book next year, so I'm trying to get all that up and running.
You're busy, man.
So yeah, gaming, I can't do anything. Yeah, gaming, I can't really do much. Can't do much.
Dude, you want some promo? I love bringing on indie creators on my show as well. So like around the time you want to release, if you want to come on and get promo, I love promoting indie comics.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I love that.
The physical comic or a digital comic?
Physical. I'm doing physical.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. I've definitely been, I heard you mention that in a video of yours I was watching. I'll be keeping tabs, man. Definitely when you go into full swing and promotion, I'm gonna be there, man. That's what's up.
Thanks.
But yo, TJ, what you been playing? What you been watching? What has piqued your interest as of late, good sir?
I have not been playing much of anything, honestly. Like I haven't gone back to Final Fantasy in like several days because I haven't been on my. I've been on my PC like when I'm not working or working out. I've been playing the Messenger a little bit, so I have been playing that. Like, but that's sparingly. Like I'll play that for maybe 20-30 minutes and then I'll stop and then get to whatever else I'm doing. In terms of what I'm watching, I do want to see Oppenheimer. I don't plan on getting tickets this weekend, but I do plan on seeing it next week though. So I'll be watching that as well. So that's about it.
I would love to go see Oppenheimer, but my partner in crime that I go to the movies with is in Egypt, so I'm pretty fucked on that front. So I don't really have any desire to go to the movies right now. So but yo, Oz, what you been playing? What you been watching? What has piqued your interest?
I've been catching up with the Insidious movies. Trying to get to watch all of them. Wrestling. That's it.
WWE 2K.
Yep, their Bray Wyatt DLC just came out. It's pretty badass.
Okay. For me, I mean, I've been like all over the place lately, man. I'm like obsessed with multiplayer right now, so I've been like playing between Fortnite, Chivalry 2, and now I threw Rogue Company into the mix because I can't help myself. Like, and fuck you, Blaze 4K, if you're in the chat, for making me pick up yet another multiplayer. You piece of shit.
It's a big nose bastard.
I was streaming Rogue Company last. Oh my god, yo! Everyone goofs on this man's beak, bro.
He got the Luigi snaz. I can't help it.
Oh shit! But yeah, I've been playing a lot of different multiplayers. Just anything to be able to chill and hang out with friends, man. Like I think that's what it's all about. I would definitely. I look forward to games that can include as many people in them as possible. Even if they're like Fortnite, because I mean, shit, I can link up with so many different people just to fucking throw down and play Fortnite, you know? So that, you know, while I think it's goofy in the grand scheme of things, it's cool. And I definitely hope that we do get more good multiplayer games that, you know, are cross-play and all that and are fun to play. But I've also been playing Final Fantasy 16. I'm about 70% of the way through, so I'm hoping to get it finished by next week. I've been like, you know, it's one of those things where it's sometimes I'm really digging it, and then sometimes I'm like, oh my god, this shit is just like
that's how I
drag.
feel. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's very mixed. You know, I'll definitely have more to talk about once I do finish it, but I do take breaks from it, and it's kind of it's one of those things where it's slightly disappointing because it's my most anticipated game in a very long time. But when it does hit, it hits. So there's a lot to talk about in regards to that. But I also ended up watching what's it called? I've been watching movies with my homie RC Scott, multiple movies. I was trying to think of the last one we watched together. Damn, it's an oldie. It's a cult classic, and I can't think of the name because I'm about to hit 30, guys. At this point, my brain is going to start turning to mush. I already feel it.
You're young.
I don't want to hear your fucking problems.
The final countdown with Martin Sheen and Kirk Douglas. Really interesting cult classic movie. It came out in 1980. Basic premise is that basically a bunch of military dudes go through this hole that takes them back to 1941. The freaking attack on Pearl Harbor. And it's really interesting movie. It's cool for its time. It has, you know, respectable actors in it. It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch by 1980 standard. So yeah, but yeah, guys, I guess that about wraps up what we got going on here as of late. But I guess we might as well jump into let's just jump into Spider-Man, because I think there's gonna be a lot of mixed emotions. I did send you guys the trailer that did just drop for the Spider-Man 2 story. What you guys think about it? What you got? First off, who here is anticipating Spider-Man? I'm anticipating it.
I didn't buy the first game.
I'm anticipating it less and less as I get more information about the game.
Why?
Okay.
Just give me Mario RPG already.
Okay, Oz, you don't like Spider-Man, so
we didn't ask about that.
I'm right there with Oz. I would take Mario RPG over. My three favorite fictional characters of all time are Spider-Man, Sonic, and Goku from Dragon Ball. So like you would think this would be the game for me, especially the first one was genuinely amazing. But I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, yep, it's a game.
Well, I'm not really into action games like that. I more so play RPGs and fighting games. So action games like Spider-Man and stuff, I don't really care too much for it. I mean, like it looks good. My brother's got the game.
You don't fuck with Spider-Man, okay? Whatever you're gonna say.
If it was a genuine like fucking horror game where I'm Venom and I just destroy and murder everyone, or Carnage, yeah, just let me be Carnage and let me paint the blood with the streets of blood. That's it. That's what I want.
I've been pitching this since I was like 16 years old. A horror-themed Marvel game that takes place in New York City that's been overran by symbiotes, and you're just like a regular NYC cop trying to survive a symbiote invasion in New York.
Just let me be Venom
for like a decade and a half now.
Okay, so what's the issue with the game? Because I mean, you were saying that you was getting turned off by the trailer, I assume. Is that what you're saying?
See, Atreus is full-blown fanboy right now. And this is I'm not
fanboy. I'm genuinely interested because I saw the trailer and I thought it was good. And so, like, when it sounded to me like
I think the trailer is objectively good. I just think that since the first one was, there aren't a whole lot of groundbreaking games from the PS4 era, in my opinion. I didn't think that Insomniac Spider-Man is a genuinely groundbreaking game, especially for the superhero genre. And so I don't want this just looks like more of the same, but more of the same by 2016 standards or whatever isn't really, or 2018 standards isn't gripping me. Like, okay, it's more of the same, but now they've added not Venom and Miles Morales. That doesn't really pique my interest.
Yeah, they done it before. We was shocked by the first game. It looked amazing and everything. Like you said, they
Hold on a
give it the
second.
same thing.
Hold on a second.
But,
Do y'all know what a sequel is?
I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
Y'all do know how sequels operate, right? It's exactly the same thing you played previously with more things added. That's exactly what this is going to
They
do.
haven't shown us what
so
more
confused
things
by that.
make this worth it. They've shown us more characters, but that's what more is there? Like, let's say Jack and Daxter to Jack 2. Jack 2 is how you do a sequel.
big
They
leap.
added so much more. What have they shown us?
Jack 2 was a completely different game.
Yeah, no, it's a completely additional game. It took the core concepts of Jack and Daxter and then added even more to it. This genuinely just looks like more of the exact same with different characters, and that's it. Now there could be, this was a CGI trailer. There could be stuff in the gameplay that actually is.
Oh no, that's in game. That's in game story.
Okay, if that was all in game,
Yeah,
I'll admit
in-game.
it's visually impressive. And then one thing that they did show that was Spider-Man having that gliding ability. I'm like, that's cool. Finding a way to change the traversal, that's pretty cool. But I will say, it looked like a CGI trailer, so that was all in game. I'm actually impressed.
So so my whole thing is playing Spider-Man on the PS4. The game was good enough to me where I was like, I want more. That's why we all went and got the DLC. And then of course, when the Miles Morales version came out, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people bought it. It was short, but thankfully they didn't make it $70, right? And so I'm thinking that the sequel. Part of the allure for the sequel is more Spider-Man story. I mean, or the alternative is what MCU is doing right now, which
I would say you're entirely correct. That is the selling point, or at least I would think that'd be the selling point. It's more Spider-Man story, and you hit the nail on the head when you brought up the Miles Morales, because I bought all the DLC, and with each DLC, I kind of got a little bit less enchanted. Like the first DLC with Hammerhead was awesome. He's a super underrated villain. I loved it. And then I don't think I even finished the third DLC because I was kind of like, whatever, there's more games. I've done a lot of Spider-Man shit at this point. Then when Miles Morales came out, I didn't buy it, but I played it on my buddy's PS5. And it was literally just the same game, but shorter at wintertime. And the animations were different because they're Miles Morales. And I was like, okay, well, this is, that was my exposure to PS5, was the Miles Morales version of the PS5 game. And I was like, well, I hope the sequel is a lot better. And now that I'm seeing more and more about the sequel, it just looks like a beefier version of the Miles Morales game, which was already kind of lacking, in my opinion.
So here are my general thoughts. Now, Astro is saying Venom is definitely playable, he feels. If that's the case, that is a big fucking deal to me. To me, like, let me just shoot you my general thoughts, because I have very mixed emotions here. When I look at Harry, let me run down the characters, actually. When I look at Peter, I see a fucking 12-year-old, not for nothing. When I look at Miles, I see a clowny-looking motherfucker. I'm just being honest. And then when I look at Harry, I see a soy boy bitch. And then when I look at Mary Jane, I see a 30-year-old white wine mom that goes to fucking that literally she goes to feminist conventions with her bonus hole hat and has a t-shirt on that says I proudly had 5 abortions. That's what she looks like to me. So 12-year-old Peter Parker versus almost 40-year-old looking Mary Jane kind of has me like, oh man, I feel nothing for these characters. I don't like, please just keep all the masks on. You know what? Fuck it. Make Mary Jane a superhero like she's going to become in the comic books just so she could wear a mask on her fucking face. Okay, please. But then that's my negative thoughts. But my positive thoughts are fucking Venom. Craven is going to be interesting. But Venom. If I could play as Venom, or if Venom is at least convincing, how do you guys feel about his look? Because I think Venom's look is insane. Like, I really like.
My question is, who's going to be Venom? Like, is it going to be Eddie?
It's Harry.
It's Harry.
They're using
the pulling from the Ultimate.
I don't like that. I want to be Eddie. That's stupid.
To be fair, they let us know at the end of the original game that it was going to be Harry. Like, everyone was asking, it's not going to be Eddie. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be? Did you play the first fucking game? They flat out tell you it's going to be Harry.
Yeah,
maybe
they do.
So I don't know.
Maybe the symbiote believe him. Who knows?
Well, here's the thing. I understand everyone's emotional attachment to Eddie being Venom, and I get it. I feel you with that. But to be fair, people have held the symbiote besides Eddie and Peter. It is a thing.
Guess what?
So I'm interested to see an original story here because, like, the way Insomniac pulled off the original story was interesting in its own right. It was kind of uniquely their own, so much so that it was embraced by not just us, but by Marvel themselves. They managed to please both the assholes at Marvel that don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore, as well as us, the gamer. So I mean, I'm interested to see.
Did a very good job, like making, because when we played the first game and it shows Doc Ock and he's still a good guy, I was like, oh, are they gonna give us a Doc Ock origin 10 years into Peter being Spider-Man or however long it was? And I think I pulled it off real well. My worry is they're trying to do that same thing again with Venom, with Harry. I'm like, well, we've already seen you. We've seen you pull that hat trick. I want to see something more. Venom's overall design to me, I mean, he looks like Venom, which is good, but I don't know why everyone's freaking out about him. He looks like Venom. I'm glad he looks like Venom, but that also isn't anything special. He looks like Venom, just like every other version of Venom has looked like Venom. Every other good version of Venom has looked like Venom.
Maybe they'll do anything for DLC purposes, like a side, like an expansion of the story.
You know what it is? I think that's like the differentiating factor that I think everyone's excited about. Venom is being thrown into it. So, like,
but that's
obviously it's making
Spider-Man
Peter's.
Games, so why are people?
No,
why
it's not.
And
in Ultimate Spider-Man, you get to play as Venom, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a minute, but I remember playing as Venom. So I get it, but look how long it has been. It's been a long time, and this is what excites me. This is the dark part. Like, to me, I see all these fucking loser-ass characters that are the heroes. I'm supposed to like them. I don't give a fuck about them. What has me interested is the dark side of the story. I guess because I'm evil, okay? I'm an evil bitch, and if I can deal... if they give me Venom being truly evil, maybe introduce, what's his name? Fucking Carnage into it as a DLC. Imagine Carnage DLC.
Carnage deserves way more than DLC. I don't know. Carnage is my favorite supervillain of all time, but he deserves more than fucking DLC.
He does.
But if there is specific, like, a strong portion DLC that very specifically caters to hit just him, or him having like this whole side story alone, I'd be interested in it. Or even if the third game introduces Carnage, I'm up for it. Like, this shit has me interested, the dark portion of this story. I don't give a fuck about Harry wanting to make the world a better place with his idealistic bullshit. You just sound like a fucking idiot. And I have to discredit yourself.
Harry's supposed to be a loser. He's supposed to, like, get it. Like, I get it. They're not following the comics exactly. I'm okay with that because, again, the first game didn't follow the comics exactly. And it was great. But Harry's supposed to be kind of a moron. He's supposed to be kind of a, he ends up becoming a drug addict. He's supposed to have this sort of like inferiority complex to Peter, even though he's so much more like into a family that's rich and successful. This character doesn't feel like Harry from what we've gotten in the trailer. And maybe that will change when the game is fleshed out, but I'm just not. I don't want to come off like I don't care about this. I do want to play this game. I think it looks like a good game, but it doesn't. The more they're showing, it's not hyping me up. It's diminishing my hype, and that's, as a consumer, that's worrying to me because the more info you give, it's supposed to drive the hype higher. So I feel like they're doing a disservice by spoon feeding us all this info.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
I just don't see it. Like, I'm like, I mean, I don't know what you guys have seen. I've only seen that trailer and the one that came out when they did the PlayStation showcase. So, I mean, I'm not a PlayStation guy by any stretch of the imagination. Matter of fact, my father has my PS5, so like I don't. If anything, I'm an Xbot. I am.
But hey, a black man with a father in his life, that's good.
Oh my god.
Sorry, go on, Atreus.
At this point, anybody with a father in their life is good, bro. Do you see where the world is fucking headed, dog?
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I just don't. I guess I'm as far as the being attached to the characters at all. I mean, I don't know if I was necessarily ever at a point like I was like, oh yeah, Peter's my favorite character, or I mean, I generally only care about Spider-Man himself. So like, as far as Mary Jane and Miles Morales or anything, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm usually the one that's negative about stuff, and so I was actually surprised to hear you guys be so negative about it. So
yeah, well,
I'm mixed. You know,
go ahead.
Mugen, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just saying I really have no attachment to the Spider-Man games at all because I didn't invest in the first one, but my brothers had and my dad, they have the game on their PS5. And when I watched them, I found Mary Jane annoying. Silver Sable in the first game, I couldn't stand her either. And the whole thing between Peter Parker and Mary Jane arguing and going back and forth with one another, I'm like, I don't know. I just couldn't get into the character, these versions of the characters and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm not going to invest in it. So they don't really matter.
I
much
get why you didn't enjoy Silver Sable, but she was at least comic accurate. That's how she acts in general. So I appreciate they did her. I didn't like her either, but you're really not supposed to. She's kind of a bitch even in the source material. So you know, and someone said about Redesign said you need more anti-hero games. I'm kind of done with the anti-hero trope. But that being said, I will admit that's part of my argument against Spider-Man. This would be like if you count the DLC. This is the third Spider-Man game because the DLC, like all three together, like their own game. Then you have Miles Morales, then you have this. We still got nothing on Wolverine. I wish maybe I might be more stoked for Spider-Man if it had taken a back seat and we'd gotten Wolverine before Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's how I feel as
well. I'm less hyped about Wolverine because I feel like he's gonna be nerfed. I feel like that's a game that should be bloody guts. I should be able to rip.
Well, we didn't see it yet. We've seen a CGI trailer that gives us nothing. Just him sitting at a bar, and there's like, you know, they're alluding to potential things that are going to be in the game. So
I mean, well, it is Insomniac. I mean, they did. I mean, despite me not playing Spider-Man, they done a good job with the game. So I don't expect nothing less from
Spider-Man.
No,
from Wolverine for everybody. What I'm wondering is if we get a game where we're supposed to have a Wolverine, where it's supposed to be. I mean, we should be getting Mortal Kombat level of blood and guts. And if we get in there and they're trying to PG-13 it, like I'm not saying that I won't play it at all. It's just
I don't think. Well, we have to wait and see. I think what they need to do and what they're going to concentrate on is specifically differentiating the feel between the Wolverine game and the Spider-Man game. If they don't manage to do that, it is going to not hit right. That's just the reality. I think that's something they very strongly are going to prioritize if they have any common sense at all. You know, I think that's to wait and see is the important thing about that. For me personally, look, the one thing that's going to make me excited for Spider-Man 2 is, are the boss fights better? Are they more intricate? Am I going to be kind of constrained with all the things I could do? Because that's what the boss fights all felt for me. They felt extremely constrained. Now, if they give us like a gameplay segment of us fighting one of the early bosses, and I see that, oh shit, there's a lot of like choice going on here, and there's a lot of things that I could do that's different instead of just going through this boss battle feeling like you know, it's visually pretty, don't get me wrong, and there's some cool animated, you know, segments that are QTE, but if I can't add my personal touch and give choices of how I combat these particular characters and stuff, then to me it's gonna feel like the last game, the last two games.
The game is tailored, at least the first one was tailor made for that when you take on the regular street level thugs too. So you would think that adding that to the sequel, making it almost Dark Souls-esque, and that you know you've got a million ways to skin a cat. Like I agree with you. I think that'd be great. Like Kraven is my second favorite villain in all of Spider-Man, and I really am anxious about how they're gonna do Kraven, especially how you're gonna do a Kraven fight scene, how are you gonna do the Kraven story arc. So I would like the chance to fight Kraven using a myriad of different, you know, abilities from Spider-Man. But yeah, the first game was incredibly on rails in the boss sections. When you boot the game up and you fight Kingpin, I thought it was just like that because of the tutorial. And then as the game goes on, all the bosses are like that. And, you know, with Kingpin was kind of the most fun of all of them, even though he's like within the first 10 minutes of the game.
I think they're going to play it safe and just give us a bit of the same thing that we had and just add a little bit of other things, more QTEs to, you know, to make it look cinematic, but I think they're going to play it safe. That's what I think.
You know, I hope they really swing for the fences. I still need yes, swing for the fences. I mean, you know, they have said they're expanding New York, so that's going to be interesting, and I think that the way they did it is smart. Because when there was rumors that, oh, we're going to be able to play in Queens, New York, and Brooklyn, I was just like, oh God, no. I am a New Yorker. Okay, I know the difference. Not many people may know the difference between Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens, but there is a very big difference here. Okay, like in Queens, I used to live in Queens. There aren't nearly as many big buildings, not even close to as many big buildings as Manhattan. And it's the same thing with Brooklyn. There are some big buildings in certain areas, but it's more like it's a lot of more housing or smaller buildings. So that was problematic. But the way I think they counterbalance that is like the whole, like they're gliding now. So that's a smart way to counterbalance that. So now they're expanding New York. That could be good or bad. I don't know. We have to wait and see. But they're giving you a better way to traverse these types of areas. So I'm excited for that. I think that they did a good job with that. And the big plus that they showed us with the first time they showed off Spider-Man 2 gameplay was just how fast you can get through the city. And clearly, you know, the PlayStation 5, from what we've seen, is relatively keeping up because you are zipping through the fucking city. And the fact that I'm not seeing like insane pop-in, you know, that would be problematic, you know, when you're gliding and for using old hardware. So on that front, these are positives, but I just need to see boss fights, man. I think that's the one thing that's really going to either make me put my expectations in very much in check, or me be excited. But TJ, you've been relatively quiet about it. What you feeling about this game and what we've been presented so far?
I like what I've been seeing. I mean, I'm getting the collector's edition, so clearly I'm ready for it. So
that's what's up.
I think the way that I still don't understand why they made a change in regards to Peter's face. I don't understand it. Still don't prefer it. It's just he doesn't. The way that he looks now, he does look like a child versus the original 2018 version that we had. But aside from that,
stupid change.
Well, the bullshit excuse said because the original face, they had a hard time rigging it on the actor itself, so they reconfigured the face so it's a lot easier when the mouth movements and some bullshit. But it sounds stupid to me. I think they just wanted to do it.
I mean, considering it's Insomniac and they love doing what they do. So I'll give them a pass in that regard because they clearly put out quality work. So I'll just leave it as is. I still don't like it, but if that's what their reasoning is, fair enough. In regards to, I don't understand why Black characters in games have to have this fade with the locks like to the side. Like it's a constant thing that I see. Like it's this Killmonger type archetype that they keep pushing with these characters. Like the new main character that's, you know, supposed to be getting the Prince of Persia. He has that look. There's some other characters in other games that have, you know, somebody did like a tweet where they had all of these pictures of these Black characters in games and they all have the same hairstyle.
Well, it's the same thing they do for women in video games with the side of the head shaved. It's just for Black people instead. Like it's the
Captain Marvel haircut.
Marvel haircut. And in regards to the game takes place 10 months after the Miles Morales expansion. So I get it. Time has passed. So maybe within that time frame, he decided to grow his hair out. Cool. But I just think that wasn't the choice. Maybe they could have just had, you know, fade on the sides and then had it braided to the back. But they just went with that look, which is almost like a generic look at this point. But aside from those things, gameplay wise, I like what I see. Venom looks incredible. Tony Todd sounds incredible as Venom.
Hell yeah.
I'm
definitely
ecstatic about it. I don't know if there will be DLC to play as him, but I'm sure it'll be muted because the game is rated T for teen. But I would still enjoy playing as Venom. In terms of the story, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I watched this trailer, I didn't pay attention to the story at all. I wasn't listening, which I purposely tuned it out because I just didn't care to hear it. So all I did was look at the visuals and just go from there. So I'm pretty much going into this relatively in the dark. So what I've seen, I'm impressed with. You get to play as both Peter and Miles. Yes, there'll be some similarities, but I do think they're going to dial back the strength on Miles so that Peter does obviously come across as stronger because he is the adult in the situation. And then, of course, you know, they will have to rely on Miles and his abilities with his, electric powers and as well as his stealth, where he can turn invisible. So I think there'll be some variety.
That makes me question, because you brought up, the difference between Miles and Peter. Both these villains, Venom and Kraven, are massive Peter villains. What is Miles? Are they gonna give Kraven to Miles? That would just, in my opinion, defeat the entire purpose of the character of Kraven. So who is there for Miles to fight that's like going to be integral in Miles as a character?
Well, they already showed. So the one thing that I did see in the trailer that they showed, his focus is on Mr. Negative. So that's who he's going for. He doesn't Kraven and
that who that dude was with the long hair.
Yes, that was Mr. Negative.
Okay.
So that's where his focus is. Kraven and Venom will be for. Well, I hope it'll be where either it'll be Peter handling that or both of them. But essentially, Miles' focus is on Mr. Negative. He wants to get revenge for his father being killed. That's what that is. So ultimately, I think they'll do enough to differentiate the two, so where it's not like there's some overlap. There'll obviously be some things where it'll be similar, but I don't think they'll do enough I think they'll do enough to where there won't be enough overlap to where it's like this is too samey for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
Any final thoughts on Spider-Man from what we got so far? The trailer?
Not on Spider-Man, but you mentioned something earlier. You were talking about the traversal, and I just want to say that's the one thing about Wolverine that I'm very concerned about. How are they going to make traversal for Wolverine near as fun as fucking Spider-Man?
Here's what you do. You
Put him on
don't
a
make
motorcycle.
you don't make Wolverine open world.
No, I'm about to say that. Make it linear.
No,
Linear action-based game. Just make it linear. Linear storytelling, linear levels and stuff like that. It don't need to be open world for Wolverine.
I agree. All right, guys. So let's take it to Sonic, man, because there's been a lot of things that have actually come out about Sonic, but you actually covered the story where was it the dude at Sega, Leon, was saying that they're considering doing some remakes and remasters of Sonic. I don't know if you want to.
And this is actually the second time he has said something along those lines, because during the production for Sonic Frontiers, the president of, or maybe he's not the president, maybe he's the lead designer, either way, had said that he was interested in doing a Sonic Adventure remake, and now they're open to, he used both the terms remake and reboot, differentiating them, saying they're open to both or either one. I'm normally very anti-video game remake. I'm one of the most anti-video game remake people you can find. Sonic the Hedgehog makes me a hypocrite because there's so many classic late 90s, early 2000s Sonic games that I think need a remake so that people who were not around during those times can shut the fuck up about playing old games.
Saying stuff like that looks like you want to be bought up by somebody.
If Sega decides to offer me a check to suck off a Sonic game, 9 times out of 10 I'll do it. Even the bad Sonic games have something to offer.
It sounds like they want some Phil Spencer money.
Yo, Oz.
It's gonna happen, folks. It's gonna happen. Wait. It's gonna happen.
I can't wait. I can't fucking wait for that bullshit to happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Oh, they're gonna buy Sega next week.
He's alluding to Microsoft buying Sega.
Oh yeah, they want to be
not buying Sega.
Microsoft will never buy Sega. No, Microsoft will never buy Sega. I'm such a fucking fanboy. I'm rocking a Sonic the Hedgehog mug right now. Like I'm here for a Sonic discussion. Like,
look, man. Honestly, what they need to do. I
still had my Sonic doll when I was a baby, when I was a little kid. I was like 6 years old. I still got it.
My man.
Hell yeah. To me, I would love to see quite a few things. First off, if you could remaster all of the Sonic Advance games, I know that the fourth one, I think, fell off hard, if I'm not mistaken, but just give me all of those games and let me play them on Switch or what. This is as someone, I literally used my analog pocket, and the first thing I ran through was the OG Sonic Advance. That was my first Game Boy Advance game. When I bought a Game Boy Advance, I came home with Sonic Advance, and I was a crackhead for that game. So if you give me a remaster that really fucking brings out the visuals of that game, HDR, and keeps it the same, I'll pick it up, man, because I'm just a simp for it, and just give us a whole collection of that, just so I can have different versions of a game, of a set of games that I do enjoy. But I think
Sonic has
obviously
done something really Sonic's been doing something really unique lately. And so they got this guy named Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn had been writing the comics for a while, and Ian Flynn had been killing it with the comics. It was amazing. And they brought him in to run the story for Sonic Frontiers. And he did something that had never been done in a Sonic game before, which is introduce the comic and game canon to one another. So if they do remake these games, I'm both excited for / worried about the idea that they're going to, instead of keeping them the exact same, use it as a springboard to kind of alter the canon so that it also works within the comic narrative, because Ian Flynn will still be on board doing the writing, or at least that's what everyone's assuming. Because he's the dude that basically runs Sonic right now. Like when it comes to story stuff, Ian Flynn is the go-to guy. And so I want some of these games remade. I want their stories 100% untouched and unchanged. Can they do that with Ian Flynn? I'm cautiously optimistic.
I've been tapped out of Sonic. Like, once they went to the boost generation with Sonic Unleashed and they've been Sonic Colors and all that, I just tapped out of it. Like, they haven't been as fun as they used to be. But
You're
Sonic Adventure 1, I love it. Like, Sonic Adventure 1 is one of my favorite 3D Sonic games.
Mugen, marry me. That's my favorite video game of all time.
Like, dude, I had a Dreamcast when it launched. My parents bought it for me, and Sonic Adventure 1. Yeah, Sonic Adventure 1 was I had Sonic Adventure 1, Power Stone. I had like 8 different games on like launch of Dreamcast. But Sonic Adventure 1, the moment I popped it in and the intro opened up, I said, "Is this a fucking Sonic game? Because this looks ridiculous."
It just ridiculous. Hit, dude. That intro, the cinematic with Open Your Heart playing. Like I was already a Sonic fan from the Genesis era, but then when Dreamcast hit us with Sonic Adventure, it's been my favorite game since 1999. We're rolling on almost 30 years of that being my favorite game ever made. I replay it like twice a year.
Exactly.
Which one?
Yeah, like Sonic
Adventure.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 1. Like, I like Sega Genesis was my very first console. I played, my first game experience was Legend of Zelda on NES at 4 years old, but my first console was the Sega Genesis and Sonic 1. And I've just been a fan of Sonic ever since. But when it went straight to 3D with Sonic Adventure 1, oh my God, I was in love with that game. I played that game over and over and over and over. So if they remake that, I'll be a sucker. I'll be a simp and buy it. Like 100%.
Same.
100%.
Honestly, imagine so playing, Sonic Adventure 2, there's a bit of jank in some of those segments and some of the stages. If they can manage to do an accurate remake of these games and get rid of that jank and really streamline the gameplay overall, I'd be down for it, man. Thankfully, these games are accessible. Like, you can get them on Steam, so that's a great positive. That in itself, you can't say that for a lot of games. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're cheap and accessible, easily accessible. We could still buy them, so that's cool. So personally, I don't mind if they do change some of the general gameplay to make it more streamlined instead of exactly the same shit, because they're easily accessible games.
Put a caveat on that. So the jank allowed for an extremely exploitable physics engine, which is what makes the first 2 Sonic games. So if they're gonna streamline the gameplay, they have got to make it to where that physics engine is still as exploitable. One of my earliest videos, so it's awful quality, you don't go watch it, but I break down how the physics engine worked in that game and why it's in the first one, and why it makes it just the definitive 3D Sonic experience. And if they're gonna remake it, that's my biggest complaint with Frontiers. Much as I love Frontiers from a lore and story standpoint, my biggest complaint is that you are not able to truly feel like Sonic like you were in Adventure.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they're going to take Sonic Frontiers and they're going to adopt that philosophy and then put it in the remakes of Sonic Adventure or whatever they're going to do. That's what I'm afraid of, because momentum and, like you said, the physics, that's what made those games. Yeah, that's what made them so damn good. And I'm afraid they're gonna take those philosophies, because I didn't bother to invest in Frontiers. I didn't even buy it. My brother
It's actually
did.
good. I would recommend it, just so you know. And thankfully, because I get your concern, but the head of the game he's actually said the opposite. He said they learn from Frontiers and they want to make games going forward more like Adventure. Not like they want to use the Frontiers model, but make it more like Adventure in its traversal. So if they're being honest about that, that is just, it's got me hard.
Listen, I'm cool.
I wish I could be into Sonic as much as y'all are. I haven't played
It's
Sonic.
cool. It's cool. It's cool. You're excited. You're excited about second place, but I'm going first place. That's wonder. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my god. Well, but
I'm going with the king. You can go with the peasant. I'm good. Go with the king.
Here is the shame of it all when it comes to Sonic. I feel like a lot of people are disinterested in Sonic just simply because how the property has been treated for a very long time. And I feel like if they manage to find like a consistency of good game releases and actually revitalize some of the things that made people fall in love with Sonic and bring it to, I think that people would be far more interested in Sonic again than they used to be. People are very much waned on Sonic because of Sega's treatment of the property. And I feel like that could indeed change. There's room for Sonic to grow. You know, the movies have definitely helped out. I know you're a little bit concerned with the next movie, but the movies have definitely reinvigorated some people. And I think that's cool.
The movies were great.
I mean, because if Mario this dude can play sports. He can ride go-karts. He does all kinds. He does he has an RPG. But yet they can't do that with Sonic.
Sonic and Mario aren't really a fair comparison nowadays, though, because Mario, ever since Sonic went 3D, it genuinely started putting work into being actively story-driven games, whereas Mario has never really done that. So the Sonic Mario comparison, I feel like hasn't been fair for like 15 years.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, yeah, it's. I get where you're coming from.
My favorite side Sonic game has been the Sonic team racing game with the Transform. Transform was the best Sonic racing game, and then they went backwards. They went backwards and did the Sonic team racing. They got rid of all the Sega characters and just went completely Sonic, and then made it a team-based racer. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why? Like, they messed. They
copied Mario Kart. That's what they did.
Yeah, they shouldn't have did that. And I love the idea of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric of, action like type role playing elements with beat 'em up elements and everything like that. But Sega screwed Big Red Button up with that. And
copy Mario again. Go ahead, copy Mario.
You know what needs to happen with Sonic? Look, guys, you have nothing good to contribute here. Fuck yourself. Okay.
Mario, everything Sonic does, Mario did it already. There you go.
Oh my god. Anyway, what
he did.
What Sega really needs to do is give
$1 billion.
Shut the fuck
Sonic beat
up.
Mario to a good movie, so
$1 billion with one movie.
Sir, can
can
you please? Yes, let Mario finger your hole, but please put something, gag yourself in the process so we don't have to hear it. But anyway, what Sega really needs to do is give me Chow Garden and let me please take care of the Chow, because that was my favorite part of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes,
I didn't really invest in
Chow
stuff. I remember in Sonic Adventure 1, I had the VMU where you was able to
play
and your VMU and feed them and stuff like that, but yeah, I never really cared for it too much. Everybody loved the Child Garden, but I never saw the hype in it. I never invested in it.
It's just cool. It's one of those. It's the first time I ever played like a mini game like that, where it's like, we'll bring all these little things to the Chow Garden. You have your little Chow, feed them all these little creatures, watch them grow and grow strong, and then watch them do races. I thought it was very cute. I feel like
and they didn't half-ass it. They didn't need to make it that in depth, but they did.
Yeah,
I completely agree, and I feel I would buy a $20-$25 game that centers around that and expands upon it and just makes it like a cool little modern thing. There's a lot of like management type of games, and I feel like that would be a fun management game that isn't like over the top annoying, but also provides enough for me to want to have a goal. So I feel like they should definitely work on something like that. That's something that I love from Sonic Adventure 2 and would love to see again. Real quick.
The Chow Garden. Oh, sorry.
No. Real quick. Dragonheart Yobi, thank you so much for the 5, bro. You totally didn't have to. Shout out to you, bro. He said, peace, love, life. That's what Dragonheart is all about. I appreciate you, bro. For real. Thank you so much. What were you going to say, Leon?
Yeah, the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure 2 has more depth than all of Gen 1 of the Pokemon games. Like
it does. It really does. It's true.
Yeah.
Hey, don't. Let's not be disrespectful now.
I'm not disrespecting Pokemon. I'm just saying that's the level of effort they put into the Chao Garden and Sonic. I actually like the Chao Garden and Sonic Adventure better. But Chao Garden and Sonic Adventure 2, they literally went
I will not accept any
reason.
Pokemon slander whatsoever.
No,
Fuck Pokemon.
Man. I'm not dogging on Pokemon.
I quit Pokemon at Yellow. Once I was done with Pokemon at the Yellow, didn't care for it.
All right now. I've been letting y'all have
Pokemon's been rough.
Fun.
Look,
Barbecue
Pokemon
the
has
rat
had a
and
rough
cheat it.
few years, bro. Let's at least come to terms with that. I'm a Pokemon fan. I would go out of my way to buy. I bought a DS because of Pokemon. I bought a fucking 3DS because of Pokemon. Everything else was kind of side shit for me that I would get here and there. But Pokemon done fell off. Sad to say, man. It
Digimon's always been the edgier show. I said that's right.
Well,
I mean, obviously, that's a fair assessment.
It should fall off, but unfortunately, people keep buying the shit. So.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, and I stopped.
Including me. I'm sorry. Hold on. I need to add that in there. I bought it. I'm sorry. Like, man,
guilty.
Just scratch that entire segment I just had.
Dude, no. So the convention I went to this past weekend. So like it was a trading card game convention, and the biggest stuff there was all Pokemon regardless. So I found myself, I accidentally found myself at the vendors party. So like the after party for all the people selling stuff, and they like welcomed me in, and it was super. I shit you not, I saw $20,000 deals going down over Pokemon cards. Like it was like being in Vegas. It was fucking awesome.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but I wouldn't even because I just read a story about a guy who quit the NFL to go sell Pokemon cards and he's making millions.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, it was insane. Like I knew that as a Magic player, I knew Pokemon cards had value and whatnot. I did not expect to be in a fucking hotel bar at 2 a.m. seeing people wheeling and dealing with literal tens of thousands of dollars over cards.
Just imagine a guy walking up to you going, "Hey, bro. Psst, hey, bro."
Yeah, I remember I was in seventh grade
cards
when Pokemon cards.
I bought a couple. I didn't buy any of the high dollar ones like that, but I spent about $60 on Pokemon cards from like the 90s and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a serious thing back in the day. I mean, when I remember I lived in Philadelphia, so kids was getting shot and stabbed and jumped over Pokemon cards when I was going through school and everything.
So did Pokemon Go give you flashbacks to that?
Yeah, it was brutal back then, and people were trying to steal. I had a binder full of cards. I had to keep mine with me because they would try to. People would literally try to stick you up for them and try to steal them from you and stuff like that. It was that crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. So this definitely got a little bit derailed, but there is some other news with Sonic in regards to the third film. And Leon, you were talking a little bit about that on Twitter.
Why didn't you start with the bad news so we could end on some positivity? God damn it!
Is it true? Is it confirmed? What's your fucking name? Aquafina playing Amy?
Please
Her voice.
Guys, you're really, really loud. You're a lot louder than everyone else.
Mario Bros. Sequel, and then let's see who's fucking laughing.
Please don't let that be true. I got both on DVD.
How's the second movie third movie going?
Please.
I thought the second movie was awesome.
The second movie was awesome. It's the third movie. Aquafina is rumored to be playing Amy.
They gave us too good of a. They casted too good of a character when it comes to Idris Elba doing Knuckles, so they had to give us an L for the third.
No, but they're giving us 2 L's because the other rumor is Jason Momoa is Shadow, and that's just an awful fucking casting.
Keanu Reeves should have been Shadow.
Hold on, now, wait a minute now. Now, we also thought that Chris Pratt was a terrible Mario now.
No, I defended him from the beginning. Don't even. I was a Chris Pratt.
I defended Chris Pratt. I defended Chris Pratt as well.
Chris Pratt was an amazing Mario.
I was waiting to see.
I just want to say, well, me and everybody else was roasting that shit. And then when the movie came out, it's funny because this was what Mario, and I hate to go back to the Mario thing because Oz over here is about to blow a load.
I'm good. Go ahead.
But that was one of those rare situations where the writers was much more intelligent than the audience, because they not only knew that we was going to criticize Chris Pratt being Mario, but they slapped a backhanded joke in there because they did the song with the voice, and you had to sit there and listen like, damn, I wouldn't have watched a fucking hour-and-a-half movie with him doing that fucking accent the entire. There's no fucking way. So they actually did a good job by not like, you know,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's somebody.
But that's the thing. Chris Pratt has talent. Aquafina doesn't. Aquafina sounds like she gargles barbed cat dick for a living. Like, what
But
the
Amy though, like Amy, I'm trying to picture her voice on Amy. Like it's just, that doesn't that doesn't make sense.
Yes, you can. So let's sing along.
Doesn't make
Can I hurt this cattle butt? That shit is fucking annoying, dog.
That bitch is the definition of cat scratch fever. But anyway, shit. I mean, we were talking about a little bit of retro shit, but real quick, the first Sonic is my favorite of the Mario and Sonic films that have released thus far. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Damn it.
I don't know, man. Knuckles was my dog. Like, and you're talking to a guy who's not even
No, go for it, Trace.
Oh no, I'm saying you're talking to a guy who's even big on Sonic like that. Like I played Sonic early in my life, but I never was like, oh yeah, I'm about to bust a nut at Sonic. So like when I saw the second movie, you know, and I saw Knuckles, I was like, oh shit, like this is actually like I really did enjoy them two fighting, and then now he later on became an idiot. But you know, it was really good. It was really good to watch. It was good to see a video game movie do well. It was good to see them in the first film when they first showed Sonic that fucking nightmare fucking design, and everybody was like, "What the shit is that?"
I cleaned it up though.
Yeah,
I still would have seen it.
Which if you ever have you ever watched the Chip and Dale movie, the Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger movie?
Yes, and I know what you're about to say.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Great.
There's this thing in the the midsection of the convention they go to, and ugly Sonic is there peddling his ugly Sonic wares.
It's great. It's great.
Oh my god!
Now, kudos to them for recognizing that and fixing it. Like,
yeah.
In a world where all the studios think they know better than the fans, they went. And they changed it, and
you know it's the same director that directed Deadpool, right?
Yeah,
that directed the first Sonic movie.
Okay.
Like when you watch, everyone said the same thing about Deadpool when it came out. Wow, they understand the fans. Like that was what set Deadpool apart from everything else.
Ryan Reynolds got a lot to do with that, though.
That's true. I'm saying that, like when you take a look at the guy that directed it and realize he also did Sonic, you're like, okay, you know, this guy I think honors fans in general, because Cass was saying that her favorite's the first Sonic, and that's a weird one for me because the first second is a better movie. Like when you talk about how to like technically make a movie, but the second one is a better Sonic movie. So I don't know.
I just hope they don't fumble moving forward, because in my personal opinion, I love Sonic 2 movie, but in my personal opinion, I really truly believe they should have saved Knuckles for the third film, and it should have been more of a Sonic and Tails film for the second movie. Like, you know, Sonic finally meeting somebody that's just like him. They're very different, and they should have been more of a Sonic and Tails, built in a relationship, built in that partnership, going against Eggman. And then the third film, you introduce Knuckles. But instead, we got Sonic, we got Tails and Knuckles. And I feel as though they didn't really spend enough time, you know, building Sonic and Tails together before we throw in Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? And now we about to go to Shadow for the third one. I'm like, damn.
Shout out to Jim Carrey as Eggman. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen, dude. Like,
I don't even like Jim Carrey that much, and his Eggman was fantastic. But you know, to what Mugen was saying, you know, going to Shadow with the third movie, I get why they're doing it. He's a real popular character.
He's popular,
so much lore before Sonic appears that, you know, like everyone complained about all the stuff going on with the wedding and whatnot. But you know, I was like, no, this is going to lead into Shadow, because if you watch that scene, they're all gun members.
They all gun.
Like, I have no issue with all the human stuff at the wedding because it actually contextually makes sense in Sonic lore. So all the people that were complaining about it, it's clear that they don't know the Sonic lore.
Yeah, what's the issue with the wedding? I didn't catch that.
It's like 30 minutes of all human stuff, and it turns out they're a bunch of undercover agents. But those undercover agents are from an agency called Gun. Gun is the agency that has Shadow and is stuck in suspended animation for 50 years.
Yeah, so I don't think it's particularly the wedding itself that's a problem. People just seem to, and I personally feel this way, I cannot fucking stand Marsden's wife's sister. Just please yeet that bitch the fuck out of there. And I think that we have a movie that I could fully get behind, but her in particular, she's just a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, like
are you talking about the fat black girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why the fuck is he in there, dude? I don't. Okay, yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Wait a minute. Hold up. That just awakened a whole new criticism of that movie for me.
Oh
right,
no.
you
Okay,
might,
keep it short, sir. Keep it short.
You might be right. The first one might be fucking better because I just wasn't there like a 20-minute scene of like they're. Oh, you're fucking right. Jesus.
Yeah, but she was in the first movie, so like.
Yeah, but
she was there too.
She could have died there. That's all I'm saying about that.
Like for me, like since Shadow's such a iconic character, he should have been like a build up, like a couple of movies building up, leading to him, because there's so much lore behind Shadow as a character, and for them to just throw him in there, I'm like, you guys
what
are
if
really
they do
trying
a
to cash
prequel
in.
though? What if they do a Shadow prequel? I'd be down for that.
I mean, Knuckles is getting his own series before the third film, so they could do stuff like that as well. But the whole Maria situation, how would they do that? Because it's like a Richard 2,
right?
They gathered her the fuck up. They shot her the fuck up. A 10-year-old or 11-year-old, they shot her the fuck up. I don't know how they're going to do it for the movie. It was pretty dark.
The chat is saying, didn't Jim Carrey say that he was retiring? And that's actually why it's brilliant they're bringing in Shadow, because the Shadow actually has more to do with Eggman's grandfather. So let's say Jim Carrey doesn't come back for Sonic 3. Shadow is tied to Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandpa, so they could recast a new Robotnik, but it wouldn't be Robotnik as we know him. It would be. I actually think that if they knew going into this that it was going to be Jim Carrey's last film, bringing in Shadow makes sense, because now they have an easy avenue to cast a new Robotnik.
I think he was the best. I think he was the best part of that movie. I think Jim Carrey's what made that movie.
See, here's the thing. I cannot stand Jim Carrey in anything.
I love Jim Carrey.
Even in Sonic Adventure 2. I like Jim Carrey in the first movie because for me personally, this is a very for me sort of deal. I feel like he was there just enough, but not over the top, because over the top, like I've always didn't like Jim Carrey because I feel like he's on your fucking shoulder in everything that he's doing, and it kind of just bothers me. And I feel like the first movie, it was just enough, whereas I feel like in 2 is kind of a little bit extra for me personally.
No, I thought he was an odd choice when I first heard that Jim Carrey. When I first heard he was going to be Eggman, I'm like, Jim Carrey and Eggman, how the fuck is that going to work? I was trying to picture it, but once they actually had him and show him in action and everything, I said, no, it fucking worked. But before Jack Black was announced to be Bowser, I was figuring if they was to replace Jim Carrey, I thought Jack Black would be a good Eggman.
I was just thinking that.
You know, and they could have used that as an excuse, like Eggman, something happened to Eggman where he got shocked and then it made him fatter or something like that. And
he did what modern people do. They over fucking eat and they get really fat, and then they try to justify it.
Fun fact, in lore, the reason the Eggman is like that, he used to be a good guy. He used to be a good guy scientist, and then one of his experiments went off while he had boiled eggs on the counter, and it turned him into a literal Eggman. So that's why
it's so many different lores of Eggman, because in the older comics, he actually switches different bodies. Like every Eggman you see, he just switches to another body because he comes from different multiverses. And then one of the main multiverses, Sonic and Tails, actually killed him. But then another multiverse, Eggman, came into their realm of existence. Yeah,
give me my check. Give me my check now. I'll be Eggman. Let's do it. I'll take the money.
Oh my god.
We'll do it. I'm Eggman.
Real quick, Goodall says, "What's up, Kid Trunks and gang? What's up, Aaron? It's all good. Good to see you. Appreciate you pulling up here. So yeah, but yeah. Any final thoughts on Sonic and just the future of Sonic in general?
Well, we just got to wait and see.
Just quick, because we were bitching about Awkwafina playing Amy, but none of us suggested what a better alternative would be. I don't actually know a good female alternative for Amy.
I actually had, what was her name? Amy Poehler. I think that's her name.
Was it you that commented
that?
Oh,
Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah,
I fucking hate Amy Poehler.
Yeah, I could see her as Amy. I always thought she used to do little funny voices, and I was like, man, she would make a good Amy, for voice acting and stuff. So I thought she would be a good choice for Amy.
Yeah. Well, for what they use the actual video game voice actress for Tails. I don't know why not just do that with all the other fucking characters. But
Hollywood,
listen,
Hollywood.
No Jim Carrey, no sequel. I'm good.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, look, they have to pretend that most women in Hollywood have star power when they really just sadly don't.
Listen, no women not one woman in Hollywood is funny. Not one of them.
Okay, but that goes for like 98% of women. Period. If I'm
Are
completely
you
honest,
telling me
I'm an outlier.
Amy Schumer gut-bustingly hilarious, you bigot? Amy Schumer is the pinnacle of female comedy.
I would like to Spartan kick her off a bridge.
You said Amy Schumer?
I was joking. I was
absolutely. I was gonna say because her joke sounded better when it was coming from Patrice O'Neal himself. So
Word.
That burn.
But
I mean, I will say, Miss Piggy
TJ
was
with the
far more
combo.
entertaining. So yes, combo breaker. But yo, TJ, any final thoughts on Sonic and possible remakes or reimaginings happening?
So, I'm completely out of the loop. Like I've been, like my work has been my focus in the gym, obviously. So I don't know anything about like any remakes. I don't really trust Sega at this moment. Like they do really well. The only way that I would trust Sega and Sonic is if they get RGG that does the Yakuza and the Judgment series. If they were to develop those games, I'm fine with that. Outside of that, I have no faith in anything Sega related in Sonic.
What about Atlas?
Sonic
Because Sega
sus.
owns Atlas, and they put out banger after banger.
Yeah, but they would just put out the same Sonic game like they do with Persona 5. So we're going to say that I am apprehensive about it, but let's see what happens.
I would like to see some other Sega games. I would love to see another Jet Set Radio.
Yes. Oh my God. Now you're stroking me. Pause.
Yep. That's.
Cass,
aren't you the one that shared that little clip? That there actually is either sequel, remake, not sure, but there were some leaks about a Jet Set Radio, either sequel or remake.
There is a leak of the game itself that does exist. It's just that they haven't actually announced it.
There's some. I'm sorry, Ken.
No, you go ahead.
There's some little like Sega games that I personally, I wish that they would do, but they probably will never do. There was a character by the name of Rystar. I always thought he needed a sequel, and I always liked. I thought they needed another sequel to Beyond Oasis, but that's or another sequel to the fuck's Ultra Beast.
I think they should make Virtua Fighter good again.
Yeah.
Code. Since you're a Jet Set Radio guy, there's a game coming out literally next month. Called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Absolutely.
It is the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. I am day oneing that bitch. It looks fucking sick. I think it's available on both PC and Switch.
Is that gonna be on Game Pass?
The music gotta be on console, man.
The reason I'm
it's from the same.
I don't have Game Pass. That might make me
actually
actually invest in Game Pass if my PC isn't fixed by then.
Well, so the
you
bad
can get it on
news,
Switch, I think.
Yeah, the bad news of that is that it's only coming out on PC and Switch at the moment.
Oh, even better.
I'm gonna get it on PC.
I'm gonna get it on PC then.
Because Switch went at it.
I don't even know where my Switch
PC Master Race, baby.
FPS and shit. Like,
you know what?
On Switch.
Now, here's the thing about getting it on Switch. While it might not necessarily perform as well if you're a collector, because Cassie will probably get both. But like Nintendo products almost always hold their value stupid well, even third-party.
I don't know if
games.
it's gonna. Is it gonna have a physical release though? That's my one question. Because
Yeah.
I would end up buying it twice.
Release, yeah, I would just get it on PC.
I don't know if they said. I don't know if they've confirmed it.
I could see it's a digital. Yeah. I think it's a digital.
I think that it's going to be more so if it's a true success, they'll probably go through limited run. That's kind of how it tends to be.
Limited run is ass, man. I'm never ordering from them ever again.
Yo, if you order anything from limited, like let's say, okay, so the game comes out August 18th.
I can get that shit like 8 months later and shit.
You're not getting that game until 2025. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Don't order anything through limited run games. And I mean, they're a local company. They're out here in North Carolina, but no, I'm not. I usually say I support local businesses typically, but not that one.
Yeah, because my dumb ass got Streets of Rage 4 and Ninja Turtles from limited run, and I ain't see that shit until like 8 months later.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, particularly with limited run, that people unfortunately will have to be patient when it comes to them. What their goal, and sometimes they actually fail at this, their goal is to make sure the finished version of the game is on the disc or cartridge. So that means the game, like when the game releases versus the limited run release, is always going to be off by a lot. Sometimes they fall short of that shit. They'll actually put the game on cartridge or disc, and then there's another update that comes out like a month later or like a year later or some shit, and they even fall short of that. But like a lot of people don't understand is their goal is to have the actual fully patched, complete version of the game come out to the buyers. So they have to hold to that, which means who knows when these games will actually, you know, come out physically. That's just that's the side effect of wanting a complete version of a game on disc or on cartridge, that even I, you know, it is bothersome to me as well. But real quick, Code says, also, why the hell isn't there a port of Jet Set Radio Future? It kills me that it's stuck on OG Xbox. This is the same fucking issue I have of all the Xbox games that are back compat. Why the fuck is Jet Set Radio Future not a part of that? That is
the biggest
disappointment.
I wonder if that's a good segue into a particular topic you had on the list, because
it's the music.
It's definitely the music.
Next up, it is going to be retro gaming. But real quick, shout out to G. He said this 2REAL4FEELS has more pauses than Blockbuster Video. Regardless, great times. Shout out to Cassie Cage and the panel. Yeah, thank you so much, G. You totally did have to. I really appreciate that. But yes, it is a perfect segue because I do want to bring some awareness to the fact that if you are a fan of video games and you want to preserve the history of gaming, we're in a very losing position. I'm sad to have to inform, but it is good because there's a study that's been conducted that is making us aware. And I definitely want to bring awareness to the situation by any means possible, because the reality is that about 9 out of 10 games, out of 10 classic video games are commercially unavailable, study finds. So everything, you know, pre 2010, only about, you know, only technically 87% of it is capable of being purchased. So going down the legal grounds to obtain these games is extremely rare, which is why I obviously support piracy, game preservation in any way, shape, or form. But the reality is it shouldn't be the only way to access these games, as well as paying $200 fucking on eBay for someone's fucking bullshit ass fucked up copy of these games. That shouldn't be the only route. In my personal opinion, these game companies need to do better, and we need to demand. And I feel as though like the big reason why people don't really make a big deal out of this is because they don't really know how truly like dire the situation is in regards to how bad we're failing. But it's also worth being noted that gaming companies actually, you know, prevent these games from seeing the light of day again. They actually tried their damnedest with lobbying and whatnot, and by, you know, making copyright law as truly problematic as it is, for the sake of not wanting these games to make a resurgence, because, well, they have their own means. I guess they want to sell you their new game and forget about that old shit. But I know you guys.
I figured they didn't want to do it because they wanted to remake them and sell them to you later. That's what I figured. But
that's part of it. That's part.
There's many different reasons, I'm sure. But you know, I want to toss this out to you guys. How do you feel about the reality that these games, you know, a lot of them will not see the light of day, and a lot of people won't have these experiences? And, you know, your thoughts, please.
Well, what I was going to say is, you know, I think the problem with the gaming industry right now is like a problem with a lot of different industries. There are a lot of gaming industries studios are focused on what the normies want. And so, like, if you're a hardcore gamer, of course you're thinking about these old games, but I think a lot of like average everyday people aren't thinking about it. Like even me, like, was I aware of this? Yeah, but like I have some old retro games that I haven't played. Like I just haven't played them. And so even now I'm getting into Dragon's Dogma, right? Like I never played it, but I was lucky that it was on Steam. But like games like Jet Set Radio, I got that because it was on it was like one of my childhood games. But how many normies are like really thinking about this stuff? And so I don't imagine that. I look at it as like, is that really a war that you can win? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not
I
saying that
think-
you shouldn't bring attention to it, but like,
yeah, the most normies want to move forward. They always want to know what's the next new game, what's the next biggest game. Like me, like I preserve all of my stuff. I've been gaming ever since I was a child, like in the late 80s and stuff like that. So I still have all my classics and everything.
You, how you gotta look as like you're 26 years old and be born in the late 80s?
Yeah, so yeah, man. So I have a lot of my old games, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't really like fight for preservation because I have it, but most people, you know, normies don't think about stuff like that. Only hardcore gamers like us think about those things, but they should have it available. They should, but if you're able to get it in any means necessary, then go through those methods, go through those channels. And those developers can't get mad at that if you're not making it available. That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. There should, in the very least, the laws with this shit should be lightened substantially. I shouldn't, have to be technically doing something wrong because I want to access a video game that is no longer being commercially put up for purchase. That is the choice that the creators themselves have made, the companies themselves behind it. Yeah, well, that is, definitely being the case, but like, technically the only legal means of this is if you technically already own the game, then you're technically, but even that, it's like, I don't know, man. Nintendo go hard on this shit, bro. It is concerning, dog. They do everything in their power
They send ninjas.
right now
they do
send the Nintendo ninjas to try and disincentivize any form of ROMs and all that shit. They're going after these websites, and that to me is really concerning, especially since I think Nintendo needs to do more to let us buy their games.
I feel like there's a bit here that so I'm not just saying this because I want to suck off Nintendo because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. This is a cultural thing because in Japan in general they have far different copyright and fair use laws. Like even Japanese YouTubers don't cover pop culture because if they show even mere seconds of it on screen without it being blurred, they can literally get arrested for it. Japan has retarded strict copyright laws in general, so it's not just a Nintendo thing. Like, have you ever wondered why the hell aren't Japanese people the biggest of all anime YouTubers? It's because they're not allowed to. I mean, they're allowed to, but the rules are so strict and stringent they are not willing to risk it. So this isn't just a Nintendo thing, despite the fact that Kotaku and all these journalists want to make you think it is.
Well, here's the thing. I totally understand that sentiment, but the thing is, I look at Nintendo. And they're sending their lawyers out there, man. They really are trying their damnest to disincentivize, us obtaining these older games.
Because the thing about Nintendo out of Sony and Microsoft, Nintendo is purely a video game company. They don't sell TVs. They're not anything
the only Japanese one. Like you could say Sony, but Sony's an American company. Let's be real.
So they profit strictly off of video games. So anybody who's trying to pirate, that's why you don't put stuff on PC. Because that takes away from them because they just make video games. So that's why, if you try to pirate or you try to take their IPs and make fan games, they come after you because their sole profit is video games. They are 100% video game company. That's why they so strict, so hard, and they come for you because all their profits come from video games.
And the thing that kills me though, it's like, bro, like, please do more to allow me to buy your older games. Like, a lot of piracy would not be a thing if they simply allowed these channels to exist. Obviously, piracy will always exist, but it would be substantially less if they allowed commercial access to their older titles.
What if they had their own version of a Game Pass? Where they just had their whole.
Want to own the game.
Switch, don't they already?
Period.
More or less?
They already have that.
I mean, I hate to say it. I know it's sad that the physical. It's the sad sign of the fucking times. We're being pushed aside, folks. That's what it is.
But here's the reality: we're talking 3 different types of consumption of games. We're talking about physical media, we're talking about digital media, and we're talking about Netflix bullshit media. Like, I'm not deliberately trying to shit on that because I think Game Pass has a reason to exist and stuff like that. But the last one provides zero ownership at all. I don't care if it's just digitally or physical and digital commercial selling of these games, but I just need the option because I want to own them. That is my key issue.
It's sad fact that they don't give a shit about people like you guys, like us anymore. They don't give a fuck. They want the 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds.
But do you think the future of gaming is subscription services? And
yes.
I don't think so.
That is gaming. That's the future of video.
I know that is. Look. Microsoft tried to cash in on it early with the Xbox One, and gamers wasn't going for it. That's why they had so much pushback. Sony was going to do it, with the DRM stuff. But when they seen that Microsoft was getting
they were.
When they
That's
seen
a fact.
heat,
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
When they seen
he's talking about Xbox One when they introduced it.
When they first introduced it, when Sony saw that shit, they was getting heat. It's like, you know what? Let's back off and do something completely different. And even after Redfall had dropped recently and it fell, and Phil Spencer went on his apology tour, he even said it himself, like, we go into this digital library era. And that's the whole thing he was trying to capitalize on. That's why they're doing all these acquisitions and stuff, because they're trying to get it ready for this whole Netflix thing. Now, as far as Nintendo trying to do a Game Pass, they'll be the last company to do that, because Nintendo always trying to resell you shit over and over and over again. Even when you try to get a first-party used Nintendo game, that shit is still high in price. So they always the last to do it. They had shitty online. They was the last to get into HD gaming. So if they ever was to do a subscription model, they'd be the very last game company to do it.
The first gaming company, the very first gaming company that did a subscription model was Sega.
Sega TV. It is. Yeah, the Sega channel. Yeah, Sega.
The Sega channel. I had that.
I never had that.
I had it. It was pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, I disagree. Go ahead.
Go for it, Atreus. Good.
No, I was just gonna say I disagree with y'all. I think I know we all pointing to Game Pass, but like the problem is, when was the last time y'all heard them talk about how much Game Pass has grown? As much of an Xbox that I am, I just don't think that it's growing like that. I think there's like people who are really like, no, I'm not fucking giving you $17 a month to fucking do this shit, and I want
nothing. To own nothing, and they expect you to be happy.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I have Game Pass, but a lot of people I know is like, bro, I will fucking blow a turtle with a dick before I get Game Pass. Oh my God. Like, there are like,
it's the same. It's the same. It's the same if you play a gaming subscription, just like Fortnite or any other type of game. It's a subscription. You owe nothing.
Here's I mean, that's true too. But here's the thing, though. You guys talked about the Xbox One. They were way ahead of their time when they was trying to do that. And people rejected it. I think like there is this thing in corporate America where they try to predict where the market is going, and a lot of times they're right, yes, but a lot of times they're fucking wrong. Think about Facebook. They predicted we was going to be in this fucking virtual world where they was going to be able to monetize people in, what was it called, the metaverse, and look where those morons are sitting right now. Now, does that mean that in 20 years we won't go to that? I don't know. I just don't think gaming is going to be the future. I mean, I don't think streaming or streaming services.
Just remember what happened to Blockbuster. Blockbuster left the idea of Netflix.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the reason why I believe that this whole Game Pass and the subscription service is the future is because if Microsoft is buying up the competition, and the only way to get access to these games, you have to play by their rules. You will have to play by their rules. That's what they're trying to do.
Disney did the same thing. Disney did the same thing where they bought up a bunch of content, or they bought up
they bought 20th Century Fox as well as Pixar.
And Lucasfilm and Marvel, and at this point, it's easier just to find out what doesn't Disney own. People don't realize Disney even owns like steel mills in the Midwest that make parts for cars.
They own Jim Henson Studios too.
Yeah, but the problem with Disney just makes shit. No one's going to subscribe to if you putting out shit. No one's going to subscribe. That's the thing.
Agreed. And so if Xbox puts out shit, then nobody's going to care that they bought out Activision. And once again, I'm saying that as a huge Xbox fan. That's my primary platform. It don't. I know we're really pessimistic and we think that everything's going in that direction. But if Xbox continues to put out Redfalls, and I roasted them for that, just like I roast anybody else, it's not going to fucking matter. And you're going to find them somewhere selling off properties if Xbox doesn't make any money in the next 5-10 years. So, I mean, buying Activision's all good now. $70 billion. All right, release some bullshit. Release 5 or 6 games in a row, and they all some bullshit. They'll be selling off some shit.
You got a point. You got a point.
It's so tough to think of a future where subscription services are the only way to access games. At that point, I am a retro gamer. It's fucking over. I don't mind. And the thing is, I don't mind the existence of Game Pass. I think it has a place, but so do all these other forms of how we always done it. They also have a place for me. When
options.
The options are phased out, then that's when I'm just like, I think I'm over it. And I use Game Pass. I don't subscribe to it all the time. It's like an on and off thing. It's mostly my personal. It's my personal demo trier. Like I get to play the demo as long as I want. If I like the game, I'll go buy a physical copy of the game, or even digitally. I'm
if it has a physical copy, Alan Wake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for me, that's what it is. I pay, this amount of money. And also it's one of those things that I use personally because, a few of my other friends also have Game Pass. It's easy for all of us to just say, that all of us that got Game Pass, hey, you want to play this co-op game together? Oh yeah, sure. It's on Game Pass, and nobody has to necessarily go out and buy the game. They already have Game Pass. Let's link up and let's play the game. So to me, there's a reason for it to exist, and it could be a positive thing. Now, if it becomes the only option, that's when, to me, it is extremely problematic.
Plus, the majority of these fucking games that come out nowadays are not worth the fucking value of what they cost. So fuck it.
But to bring it back to the game preservation aspect of accessibility of older titles, another thing that a lot of people don't know is that there are historians that advocate to allow video games to be accessible in like libraries and stuff, like movies are, like books
That's a good idea.
And they avidly lobby against this shit. It's to that level, and I think it's a great idea. It's something that should be a thing. Like if you're telling me that that would get me to go to the fucking library, and I don't go to the library like that. But it's crazy that this form of entertainment, which is right now the biggest form of entertainment, is not accessible like books, like films are at a library. And it should be the case. I should be able to go to a library and let's look at the Sega section. Oh man, you can Sega Genesis games. Let's see that.
Here's the problem,
let me rent a console even. That would be fucking sick.
GameFly was a thing. GameFly kind of more or less tried that. Like GameFly was trying to be like the Netflix of shipping you video games for.
They're still around.
That shit was ass though. That shit was so ass.
I never used it. I'm just saying that was at least kind of a cool niche idea back in the day when that was a thing.
Yeah, that was ass.
That shit was ass.
Never tried it.
Going back to what Cassie was saying, the reason why they don't want to do it is because if you're sitting there playing an old Crash Bandicoot game, they can't sell you any skins. They can't do it. They can't. They can't sell you
the game.
Exactly. Like they can't sell. They can't monetize you anymore. More time. Like everybody's competing for your time on a screen.
The sad thing is you bring up a library. Nobody's going to a fucking library anymore. They would rather you have that shit run your phone.
Look, Oz, you have some retro consoles, right?
Yeah.
If tomorrow your local library said, "Oh, we're now featuring a plethora of video games that you can, check out from a library to go play," wouldn't you at least be interested to give it a try at least once? Like, fuck it, why not?
No, because I can just go get it and have it.
Can
on
you
a certain device?
That's the whole point she's saying. Can you go depending on the game?
Oh, the right website you can.
Fair enough.
Why should that be the only option? Is my main question. Why? Some people don't have interest in ever going down that route. I'm lazy. I can go find. I know websites that have a whole bunch of fucking emulators.
Also,
I even have some of these shits. I have like some of these. I have like what the PlayStation 3 emulation thing. I forget what the fuck it's called. I haven't booted it. I could go boot it. I was playing what you call it? The fucking oh man, the game. I'm having a brain fart. Chainsaw, whatever the fuck. Lollipop Chainsaw. I played Lollipop. Yeah, I played that game on it. It was awesome. Did I continue to go find other ROMs to go play? No, because I'm fucking lazy. I'd rather go literally get a game anywhere else and own it, and by go down legal means as well to access the games. There should be different options.
See, a lot of these kids.
Hold on a second. No, I gotta. No, you being lazy. That's a you problem.
It is.
Finding ROMs is not that difficult. It's very easy to gain access to ROMs. I have plenty of PS3, PS2, PS1. All Xbox emulators are trash on PC at the moment, so don't even go for it. But anything that you want to get your hands on, you can. Now, I am of the mind that there should be a means to access physical copies of games. I own a lot of physical copies of games, and anyone that sees me, whether I'm in any Discord that I'm in, you know that I buy steel books for every physical game that I buy. So I'm one that is of the support of physical media. Now, streaming is going to be more prevalent in the near future. I am not going to be participating in streaming games. I play on PC, so digital is something that I do utilize, but when I play games on the PS5, I get them physically. I don't get them digitally because I want to see my game. I want to have it, and I want a steel book of it. I want to be able to hold and have a collection of the things that I've obtained over the years and be proud of the collection that I have procured. And it's just something that you have a certain pride in when you have a collection of your favorite games in one place. So ultimately, I do think that it is important to have it. You do have local mom and pop shops that do sell to people like that. There's a place nearby that sells games, and obviously I don't go there to get that, but the fact that it's there and anybody can go there to get what they need, I think that's important. So kudos to them for being able to stay in business and be able to do it, because if they don't do it, there won't be anybody else doing it. So,
but here's the thing, and Alex, himself, he says, I don't want to be a pirate, and I understand that sentiment as well, because technically this is an illegal means to go down if you want to get emulators, unless you technically own the game. So on that front, why is it that the only guaranteed means of accessing these games is by doing something technically illegal? Why is it that, for example, Nintendo, they have their subscription service, one that's so fucking expensive, I have no interest in indulging at all. Why is it that they have these ROMs accessible if you go to a subscription service, but they can't put any of these fucking ROMs on a physical cartridge or up for digital purchase? It's always it's just so stupid how things are now, and there needs to be more options. And I don't want to be a pirate either. I'd rather just go buy the fucking thing. I really, that's how it is. I'm telling these companies, I'm willing to give you my fucking money to own the game. Give me access to own the game.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, true. Very, very, very
That's
true.
the problem. And man, by the way, recently became PC Master Race. He needs some help setting up his PS2 emulator. I have no idea how to do it.
Yeah, I don't do emulators. I don't do emulators at all. So I don't even know how to set them up like that. I had to ask my Discord community. I wanted to do a video on the bouncer. I have it on PS2, but I ain't trying to hook my PS2 up just to.
I need to jump in your Discord community.
Oh yeah. I'll if you want a link, I'll post it. But and I had to tell my community, yo, give me some links to some emulators so I can try the bouncer 2 or something, the bouncer on the PS2 emulator or something like that, so I can create some content, with some of the classic games and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not good with emulators. Really.
I've been utilizing emulators since I've been in middle school, so I'm quite familiar with how to navigate, where to find things. It's not something that I say everyone should do. The reason why I was doing it was because someone at school said, "Hey, I'm playing Sonic the Hedgehog on a PC." I said, "How do you do that?" And then they showed me the way. So ever since then, I played. That's actually how I played Mario RPG for the first time. Was on emulator. It was a PC. So emulators are important to me because I understand what they are and what they mean, not just for, oh, I'm just going to pirate this game. Sometimes if you don't want to go and dig all the way into your collection or your wherever you keep your storage for your games, you don't want to always dig into something and have to dust it off, set it up. You just want something to be everywhere, all in one place, and it's simplified. So you can have physical media, but the emulators are just as important for maintaining what used to be.
I support all of these avenues, and I demand more avenues. That's my takeaway from this study that shows, only 9 out of 10 games before 2010 are not commercially available. I demand more avenues. And I think that the industry, if they want to be valued, if they want to be taken seriously, because I think that's a big thing for a long time. The gaming industry has wanted to be taken seriously. Yeah, they get the money, but people for many years have laughed at the thought process of video games, especially in adult individuals' hands. If they want legitimacy and to be taken seriously, you have to go down all the routes of that. Why is it that classic film is getting that treatment? Why is it that all these other forms of entertainment do get this treatment, but gaming is left out of it? That's my biggest question, and I hope that this study does make light of this and bring up these questions to more people. That's what I think overall. But any final thoughts?
Yeah, game preservation. I'm going to come at this from the standpoint of somebody who is a card collector. I mean, I've got some Magic cards that have been around since 1998 and are worth several $100s. The thing is, that is a market that even that Wizards of the Coast, the creators of Magic, they don't really care about. The secondary market is so businesses are not allowed, or at least in most cases, are not usually allowed to recognize a third-party market for their products because it's like I don't remember what the reasoning is, but it could be like conflict of interest. And so my thought process is that video game companies a lot of times probably aren't recognizing a lot of these games that are outdated that we haven't seen in a while because of the secondary market pricing. When you can go out and buy Dark Alliance at a local games, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance at a local game store for $80, there's all that they can really do is remake the game. Yeah, they could resell it, but there's not as much incentive for them since it would have to contradict the secondary market, which they're not really allowed to deal in.
Interesting.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to a topic that Mugen himself has inspired to be on the podcast, and that is my personal opinion. Western game devs hate women. I'm convinced. We've seen this in many examples, and the latest being the Fable trailer, where the main character is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
This has been ongoing. Like, it's been eased into normalcy, and a lot of people are like, as long as I can play a dope ass game, I don't care if I have to play as this fucking disgusting creature. It is what it is. And me, I'm just like, no, if I have to play as this bitch in Fable, I ain't trying that shit, even if that motherfucker is on Game Pass. Mugen, you're the one that, you made an awesome video, and what I love about it personally is that it's very, like, you put your opinion out there very boldly, but in a respectable way. It was very personal. You talk about, your daughter and the way the world is and why, you even went through a brief history of how we got to this point. But, just throw your thoughts out there about, women in gaming, because I feel the same way as a woman in that has been a gamer since I was 5 years old, bro.
Yeah. Like it was after I did the video, my daughter looked at it and everything, and even my daughter was saying, like, 'cause she's a gamer too, and I just recently found out, like Bayonetta is her favorite female character.
Yeah,
Like,
Bayonetta, she's the truth. Your daughter is the truth.
My daughter threw me off guard because we was playing Smash Brothers, and she just started getting into Smash Brothers, and she saw Bayonetta on the character select screen. And she said, "Dad,
wait, what?
Daddy. Yeah.
What you mean? She's in the game?
Yeah. Bayonetta's in Smash Brothers. Yeah.
She's been in the past 2 Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I gotta find my Switch, man.
Yeah. So my daughter said, Bayonetta. What's she doing in this game? I said, what do you know about Bayonetta? She says she's all over TikTok. I love that. I love that girl, that woman. I love the way she dressed. I love her glasses. I love her hairstyle. She's just so dope or whatever like that. And that made me realize, like, yo, like these characters, even as Bayonetta, which people coin as overly sexualized, my daughter loves that character. She loves everything about that character and everything. So I end up buying her Bayonetta 1 and 2. They had it in a bundle and stuff like that so she can play it. But
nice.
my daughter, she said like this, like the interview with the whole Aloy, with the developer was saying that, you know, a woman, you know, her femininity doesn't, you know, is not recognized as strength. So if you just make her masculine, you know, she'll appear more threatening. And my daughter felt offended by that. She was saying, so me being a feminine girly girl, I can't, you know, show strength in my own way. So in order for me to be taken serious, I have to adopt masculine traits. So what's the whole point of this whole feminist movement that, hey, we should be able to do what men can do or be able to be seen as equals while still being feminine? But you're saying that in order for me to be taken serious and be on the level as a man, I have to adopt masculine traits. I still have to be a man in some way. My daughter's like, that doesn't make any sense, you know? So
yeah,
this industry, man, like, especially in the West.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say the problem with that is the feminist part of the feminist, like one of the many branches of it is that you got a lot of ugly ass women who hide and they're using it as a weapon. Like I'm just that's the truth.
Mainly white women.
It's well, no.
You know what? But you know what though?
Fuck white women.
Say this, but there's like shit like look, yo, there's like stuff like, for example, the first thing I could think of is the woman king. What the fuck are we doing here? Like, why is it that? And look, I'm an outlier. I'm a tomboy. I've been like this as far back as I can remember. I always liked the guys' action figures. I wanted to go to the guys section because it wasn't pink. Like, that was my thought process. I want toys that aren't fucking pink. And that was why I would go buy action figures. I got obsessed with like Dragon Ball Z, all sorts of stuff. I loved anime, and I liked when I was a kid, I didn't like Sailor Moon. I would sit through Sailor Moon because I wanted to watch the shirtless dudes punch the shit out of each other afterwards with Dragon Ball Z. Now I've grown fond of Sailor Moon. It took time, but that's how I grew up. I was like into Bruce Lee was like the greatest person ever to me. And that's why I wanted to watch TV shows of guys beating the shit out of each other, because Bruce Lee was my dude. I would pretend to be Bruce Lee while watching Bruce Lee movies. I got the haircut. That was my guy. So like me, I'm an outlier. Like I am a tomboy. I understand that tomboyism. Tomboys are like unicorns. They always have been. I was the only tomboy in my class growing up, and they continue to be unicorns, and that's completely fine. I am an outlier, but I recognize that a woman is a woman and a man is a man. I am a woman that happens to like guy things. I dress up in some guy's clothes. I like guy hobbies, and I am different from women, than the average woman, but I am a woman. A lot of these people are trying to deliberately blur the lines between what is a man and what is a woman, and you cannot do that. We're proving in first world society right now that it doesn't work. Look at how the foundations are truly crumbling in modern day because you want to destroy what some gender norms are. I happen to be different in the fact that, yeah, I like these things, but I am not the norm. I don't want to see these frauds pretending to be like they're tomboys. You're fucking frauds. And in modern day, what pisses me off the most is these fucking women want to be involved in gaming, right? A lot of these fucking posers want to be involved in gaming because it's lucrative, because they can gain popularity from it. Well, guess what, bitch? You were the motherfuckers in grade school making fun of me because I liked video games, because I liked anime. And now all of a sudden, you fucking piece of shit want to be involved in a hobby that you used to make fun of me before? No, go fuck yourself. You're a bunch of fucking frauds. You're not about that shit. Because guess what? When you got into gaming, when you got into anime, when you got into all these guy hobbies, guess what? You wanted to change them. So you don't like the shit. Go make your own fucking shit and fuck off. I see my hobbies changing because they want, like, all, you know, the higher ups that be want to include more people. When these people don't even like these fucking things. It's the same thing with comic books and all that shit. You want to include all these people that don't give a fuck about the hobby. They like it because they can make money off of it, or because it's this, that, whatever. It's the popular thing to talk about, but you don't care about it because you want it to change. I've always invested myself in gaming, in comic books, and in anime, manga, all that, with the intent of learning what these things are and appreciating them for what they are, not to change them to please me. And that is the biggest differentiating factor between these motherfuckers that want to change gaming right now and someone like me that is invested in the game, in gaming, for what it has always been and what I want it to be naturally. And this is a not natural change to women being depicted in video games. Everyone wants to be Abby. They want to make everyone Abbyzilla, Aloy, fucking this bitch in Fable. I am a tomboy, and I do not like these characters. They aren't cool. Like, for me, if you're not going to be feminine, then you have to be cool, or preferably both. To me, Bayonetta, I like her because she's fucking cool, even despite her being overly feminine. And that is a rarity to me. I think most like overly feminine people don't look cool. I don't like that. I don't like to dress that way. But Bayonetta is one of my all-time favorite characters because she is very uniquely feminine, but she manages to make it cool. And to me, that is a perfect mesh of what a dope-ass female character should be. When I look at someone like Abby, she looks like a man, and she doesn't look cool. This is an instant fucking yeeted. Aloy, another character that looks extremely boring, not cool. She's a plank of fucking wood as a character. X, period. I don't, like, in Japan, like, you just showed this montage of all of these dope-ass characters that are from, you know, Japanese or Korean video games, and they have this understanding of how to make a female character both feminine and dope and cool. And that, to me, is why I've always been attracted to Japanese video games for as long as I have. They just understand. Like, yeah, Resign says Samus. Samus was fucking cool. The bitch is cool. Look at that fucking suit, dog. Like, stuff like that. To me, they don't, like, in the West, they don't understand. They don't like femininity. They act like they love women. They don't. They fucking hate you. They think that you as a woman should be a man. And I'm a tomboy literally saying that this isn't supposed to be the case at all. But yeah, I have internal masculinity.
And
the thing, further add to this, white women also stop wearing band tees if you don't listen to their music. Just throw that one out there too. Like,
facts.
Hey, go ahead.
Because who wants to shoot first?
Well, no, I was just gonna because what I was saying before was that, like, again, when y'all was talking about the feminism thing, it's a weapon being used by ugly women to even the odds with pretty women. The problem is you put pretty women in things, they get a lot of attention. Everybody knows sex sells, and it's not just about sex selling. It's about people just like seeing attractive people. Like listen, and that's even for dudes as well. Like, I already know, bro. Like, if I walk in a room full of women, I'm doing the Birdman hands rub, right? And then fucking Idris Elba walks in, and it's a problem. Okay, it's gonna be.
Well, no, but dudes also appreciate good-looking dudes in a no homo sort of way. Like, I get it. Like comic book wise, I get it. Wolverine's supposed to be a manlet, but I like seeing Hugh Jackman more than I want to see some fuckly motherfucker playing.
Well, it's not
Wolverine.
just that. You're gonna cast me as Superman. You're gonna cast Henry Cavill. I'm pretty sure bitches rather look at Henry Cavill, and you know. let's keep it a ring. As humans, we like having something to strive for. I will never look like Henry Cavill, but motherfucker, I get in the gym, motherfucker, and then you seen people grow up with like attractive women on the walls next to the picture of a Lambo.
More than the gym is keeping you from looking like Henry Cavill. Just throwing that out there.
Oh my God, this guy.
but I'm just saying, like, you have these things that you strive to be. When you put these ugly bitches in these fucking games, nobody's striving to be like that. And if we really wanted to make, you know what I'm saying? If we wanted to have ugly characters, we get into these crazy games like Street Fighter 6 where we make these ridiculous looking fucking characters just to have fun with it. But that Fable motherfucker and that Dove commercial, nobody wants that shit, man. Nobody cares about
only
it.
Women do, because do you know how many men I've met? They're jacked, and I was like, man, what's your inspiration? And motherfucker says Goku. Like, do you know how many men look at something like anime characters and whatnot and be like, yeah, I watched this and I want to get jacked. Like women don't do that. Name a woman you know that's ever been like, yeah, I want to be more like this fictional character because she speaks to me.
Yeah, and the problem is, I'm not saying that that Abby characters like Abby shouldn't have a place in gaming, but they shouldn't be the highlight.
No, they shouldn't be
the only thing in games.
Exactly. They shouldn't be the highlight. They shouldn't be the thing that we should be striving for. They should be a character or a archetype in a game, but they should never be the highlight or something that we should be looking up to. And that's the issue that I'm having. They're telling us that we need to accept this body type, accept this masculine type of woman as the norm, and we supposed to just sit back and just let them just give it to us, and we supposed to just like, hey, here you go. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue that I have or whatever. Like, perfect example, like the movie Aliens. I love Aliens. Sigourney Weaver, one of my favorite actresses. But in Aliens 2, my favorite character was Vasquez, the Hispanic woman.
Vasquez,
yeah. She was the dudish. Yeah, she was bad as shit, but she was an archetype. She wasn't the highlight. She could
also hang with the boys though in a believable way.
But she also had some femininity to her in a way, especially at the end when she died with the guy in the vent. That was like in a romantic type sense. She still had some feminine thing about her, but she was one of my favorite characters. Like, so it's not like I don't want any of those type of characters. But she wasn't the highlight of the series. Like they didn't push her in the forefront, but she served the purpose in the story.
And you know what argument for Sigourney Weaver and her motherhood and her motherly instincts.
Yes, that was the highlight. Yes.
And that's and look at some of the greatest action female stars being Sigourney Weaver with Aliens in particular, and Sarah Connor in T2. What are their defining features? They're
moms. They're mothers.
Yes, they are mothers. Like, that is what makes them their own type of character. No man can replicate these characters because their struggle is based in femininity, in womanhood, in motherhood. That is personal and what makes them stand out among so many others. And we get all of these feminist, oriented movies nowadays. None of them stand even close to these characters. And why? Because they aren't women. They're just male roles with women put at the forefront of them. That's really all it boils down to.
In Lord of the Rings, in Lord of the Rings, when Eowyn pulls that bitch off, she's like, "I am no man," and she stabs the witch. Like, I still get chills watching that scene because that is how you do girl power right. I was watching this movie with she's like my niece was 6 years old or whatever at the time, and like my niece loved that scene. But there's still moment leading up to that. There's moments of vulnerability. She's getting her ass beat. She's getting whipped with a mace. She thinks she's gonna die over her father's body, but then she pulls it out and like, oh my god, that is, to me, that scene is like peak fiction. How to do a strong female character is Eowyn in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Also, the first Wonder Woman movie, I thought they did a pretty good job.
That movie's great until the third act.
Yeah, I loved it. And I remember in the movie theaters when they went down the no man's land and she went in there and they gave her cover and she's running through the building. All the men in the movie theater, not the women, all the men in the movie theater were just cheering, going crazy as Wonder Woman kicking everybody's ass. Even in Batman versus Superman, when Doomsday showed up and then Wonder Woman come from the sky and just blocked that blast. And then her theme song came on. All the men was just cheering in the crowd. So we don't hate women. My
favorite scene in Justice League, my favorite scene in the entire Zack Snyder Justice League film is when Wonder Woman stops that bombing that those fucking terrorists are putting in. Like that happens in the first 30 minutes of the movie or whatever. It's like when you see her in there and she sees the little girl and like she looks at the little girl and be like, oh God. Like I know it's not near as motherly as some like Aliens, but okay, this is a mama bear moment. She's not going to let these children suffer harm. Like as a dude, I probably cannot relate to it the same way a woman can, but I can still relate in the idea of like I don't ever want to mess with a fucking mama bear.
Yeah, you can't relate directly, but you understand the sentiment, and that's really what's important. Oz, by the way, you got an echo, so I'm gonna mute you.
Yes, I'm gonna echo. Yeah,
but yeah, to me, it's just concerning because I want to play as characters that either I think are cool, I can relate to in some way, shape, or form, are visually appealing. I mean, look, man, sex does sell.
It does.
Dope ass visual appearances sell. And look, the one reason, let me bring this game up real quick. The one, and I think Code brought up Devil May Cry 3 in the chat, but the main reason I bought Devil May Cry 3 is not because I knew anything about the game. I knew nothing about the game.
No, it's because it's got the greatest opening cutscene in video game history. That's why you bought that fucking game.
I knew nothing about it. I knew
you had never seen
nothing. I knew nothing of Devil May Cry. I knew nothing of it when I walked into Toys R Us and was like, well, Dad's taking me to Toys R Us. I get to buy a PS2 game today. I walked in and I see this motherfucker on the cover with his dope ass fucking look, the sword, the mystery. Like, this is one of the coolest fucking covers I ever saw in my life. That was the only sole reason I walked home with DMC3 that day. And it was a great pick. Guess what? That picture of this dope ass dude that's fucking like he's slender, but he's fucking built. He has this big ass bulky sword. He looks like a fucking badass, and there's something about him. I gotta know more. I want this game. That game went home with me over all the other games just because of that cover alone. That's how I bought games back in the day. And guess what? More often than not, I had a better experience walking home just looking at a cover and in the back of the case and then going home versus now where it's like you fucking put all your chips on the line every time you have interest in any game nowadays. But that is what sold me DMC3, that cover, and Dante looking that dope. You have to make your protagonist look cool in some way, shape, or form. Like there shouldn't be, we're afraid to make the main character look too sexy. Who cares? It's what sells your game. It's arguably the most important part of a game. I don't need a woman that looks just like me. I don't need a dude that I can play as a dude. It doesn't matter to me. I'm open to either or. I'm not one of those people that, I don't like to play as women at all. Or I don't like to play as guys because I'm not a guy. No, I'm open to either. What I'm not open to is playing as some fat, ugly motherfucker. I don't care if it's a dude or if it's a chick. There has to be something damn cool about you. And they're not doing that in the West when it comes to video games.
They're not.
And this is new. And this is I refuse to indulge. Period.
Or they try to use that excuse. They try to use that excuse like these unrealistic, body types and women can't live.
And yet
up
they made
to
a
it.
Barbie movie.
Exactly. And guys never had that issue. When I see a dude who's jacked and he look dope as fuck, I'm like, I don't say, oh my God, like I can never look like that. I'm like, no, sign me up. I want to play as that motherfucker. Like I want to play him.
That's the entire point of the video game fantasy. That's the entire point. I will never look like this motherfucker, but I'll play this video game so I can look like him for like 30 hours.
Yo, it's crazy. So someone posted like this picture of this Fortnite skin that the bitch is fat, she's flat, and she's ugly. She has all three of these features, and I simply pointed them out and I said, no, thank you.
I remember.
That was my comment. Yes, that was my comment, and I got all this insane amount of hate. Apparently, it's a direct attack on women, even though it's a Fortnite skin. And they said, well, all women look like this in modern day. I'm like, yo, that's crazy that you think all women are ugly and fat and flat like this. They have no defining features. You think that all women look that way. And even if that was the case, where all women look like this, so it should be acceptable to play as, who the fuck wants to play as their mom in a video game, or like an average fucking 3 out of 10 bitch, or even if it's a dude, who the fuck wants to play as a 3 out of 10 guy? Really? Come on, can we get fucking real here? It is insane. Like, that is a dumb argument, because when I'm playing a video game, I want to play as someone that's larger than life. And even if I create myself in a video game, guess what? That version of me is gonna be souped up like a motherfucker. You ain't gonna have yeah, bro. It's gonna be exaggerated, because I can't have that shit in real life.
My beard connects in every video game I play. I promise you.
It's like professional wrestling. No one is ever gonna look like fucking Brock Lesnar, but I want to see this dude fucking destroy worlds. Okay, it's just how it is. I'm never gonna look like the fucking Undertaker, but I want to see this dude beat the shit out of everybody, bro. It's just how it is.
No, but eventually we will all look like Paul Bearer.
Well, just know what? Fuck it. I'm in for it.
Speak for yourself.
All right. Real quick, we do have a Trace that does have to head out, right, bro?
Yeah, I gotta head out to work.
All right, bro. So, definitely tell us about, your channels, what you got going on, bro. I'm gonna post your YouTube and obviously your Kick as well, right? If you want me to post anything else, let me know. But tell the people about you, bro.
Yeah. So guys, once again, I'm just a professional shit talker. I talk shit about a lot of stuff. I do a lot of reactions to different stories that's going on, pop culture and all of that stuff, and video games as well. I live stream on Kick. I try to every day at 5:00 p.m. Eastern time, going until 8 o'clock, and then that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not able to catch the Kick live, because all of the clips get uploaded there, and that's about it.
All right, man. Wait, hold on. I'm just.
Trace, did you promote your Rumble?
Oh, I did not. No, follow me on Rumble as well, guys. Trey, I be forgetting about Rumble, man. Yeah, you want to know why I forget about Rumble so much? It's because when you're live on Rumble, it'd be a lot of people watching, but nobody's commenting, except this one horse milk guy that comes in with this sus-ass comment every time.
Oh my god!
I'm not even going to repeat the comment that he drops, but it's like, why? First of all, why is your name Horse Milk, and why are you saying that?
Damn!
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! But yeah, guys, I posted Trace's YouTube and his Kick. Definitely check out his content. Yeah. He always brings some fresh, entertaining shit to talk about, and I do. And even when I can't comment, I'll be on your shit, watch it, and just face palming. It's just. The stuff, like the topics you choose to discuss are very interesting in itself. So let's just put it that way, man. But I really do appreciate you pulling up, bro. I do hope you have a great rest of the night. It was really fun hanging with you, fam.
Yeah, you guys as well, man. It's great meeting all of you. I'm gonna subscribe to how do you say it, Mugen Lord?
Yeah, Mugen Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe to you too, man. I'm gonna subscribe to you too.
All right, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, okay?
All right, take care, bro.
All right, bye-bye.
But continuing forward, I think it's important to raise awareness that we, the gamers, we don't want this. And if you continue to go down this path, it's not going to end well. But like the problem is it's very politically motivated. And that's,
of course,
over the past 10 years, like, most of gaming and look, I talk about like the whole woke culture shit, but my goal is not to be like an anti-woke channel. To me, that's just
I was about to say the same thing.
It's like eventually I want to come back to I try to create this, I guess it's a fake world where we just talk as regular people about video games and have that fun and it not be seen as woke or anti-woke.
I don't think any of us set out to be an anti-woke channel, but we're all passionate about like the nerd culture, and unfortunately, it's so infested with that because like when I started, I just wanted to be like a movie and video game review channel like so many other individuals. My dream job for like a decade, if not stand-up comedian, has always been to be a film reviewer, and it's nearly impossible to do that. Like, if you go in and ignore the political stuff that's happening in any of these products, video games, movies, whatever, unfortunately not telling the whole story, and that's not honest. And like all of us, Cass, I know wants to be honest. Mugen, I've just met you, but you seem like a pretty honest motherfucker. Like all of us want to be honest in what we're talking about. And unfortunately, you can't do that without bringing up the political stuff because it's intrinsically tied to everything.
Everything, exactly. Yep. And the thing about, and that was the thing, like when it comes to my YouTube channel, I don't want to be boxed into like one category. I like to talk about video games. I love video games. I love pop culture and stuff. But when I made this video, it really scared me because on YouTube, I got this video has 115 retweets, the most retweets I've ever had on a tweet ever before, and people are passing this video around. And the thing is, I don't want to set up expectations for all my new viewers to think that my channel is just anti-woke channel, because it's not. I don't want people to come in there and think that my next uploaded video is going to be something just like this video, when it's going to be probably a video talking about Armored Core 6 or something like that. So I don't want people to have these expectations, and and then
you're really searching for a wide audience talking about Armored Core 6, aren't they? You're ready to get all of YouTube.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I'm very passionate about things like this because, like I said, it's taken over the things that I enjoy, which is video games. I love comic books. I love animations and stuff like that. And this shit, everywhere I turn, is just everywhere, and it's just it's pissing me off. And I watch how, like I said, it affects my daughter, and I'm watching it through her eyes and what she's going through in life and this generation and everything. And I'm like, no, I have to speak up about this. I have to talk about this. And the thing is, the way to fight this is you can't back down from this. You have to say what you say it and mean it. Don't back down. Don't try to put a disclaimer or, hey, I'm not saying this, I really mean this. No, say what you got to say, because the more and more you put your foot down and you say what you got to say, those NPCs that come in, keep going, you racist, homophobe, white supremacist, and all this other type of stuff, that stuff will bounce off of you. You're not going to care. Then those words are not going to have any effect. And eventually that stuff just dies out. These people will fade from existence.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Like, to that though, because you're talking, I started off more or less left leaning as a left leaning individual, and I'm talking like true left, like true mid 2000s Democrat and whatnot, and to be told like, oh, you didn't like Star Wars: The Last Jedi, you're a fucking racist. I'm like, no, I didn't like it because it sucked, but once you get that label thrown at you so many times, I'm over here like, I don't think my beliefs have really changed since like 2008, 2009, all that much, but all of a sudden I'm now considered like hardcore right wing. So when I started doing my videos, I was like, I consider myself a bit of a centrist at this point, because I guess that's what it is. Some stuff I agree with on the left, some I agree with on the right. But when you're being told over and over that you're a hard right winger or whatnot, I'm like, I don't know what to say. And so I went in doing YouTube stuff to try and be not really passive, but very much impartial. I wanted to do nerdy news with entire going completely objective with it. And about 2 months in, I realized 2 months is very early for a channel. I realized that's impossible. You can't really be impartial. Despite I wanted to be an objective source of nerdy news. That is nearly impossible when everything has a political spin nowadays. You couldn't motherfucking talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Like let's say those rumors about Aquafina being confirmed for Amy Rose, or let's say it's true. You're not going to be able to criticize that without people coming at you calling you racist. Like, no, I just think the bitch is a bad choice to play Amy. That's going to have a political twist to it, regardless of the fact that she's just a talentless hack of an actress.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, when I went to college, I went back to college in 2010, and it felt like when I was in college, it seemed like time had froze, because none of this stuff was going on at all. It wasn't until I graduated in 2014, I come home and, I'm doing my normal YouTube videos. I'm playing video games, but I started noticing, I started seeing articles pop up about sexism in video games. And then people will post pictures of, female video game characters. And I'm starting seeing people in the conversation talking about, the male gaze and the patriarchy and misogyny. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? I didn't understand it. And then once the whole trans movement started coming in, and then I started speaking my mind about, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Then I had people start calling me a transphobe and started calling me all these names. And then I had people
like, I'm not transphobe. Look at my hair.
Yeah. Then I had people. Somebody literally called me a white supremacist. And it just blew my mind. I said, I'm a black man. What the hell was going on? It was confusing me. And I'm like, I need to find answers. What is going on? Am I losing my mind here? And that's what got me going down this rabbit hole, because I guess you could say I was left leaning. I was a Democrat. I mean, most black people are. So I was born into it. So my parents voted left. So I mean, I guess I'll vote left too. But as time started going by, and then once the Trump and Hillary election came, and my eyes just opened, and I started realizing a lot of my views were very conservative, and I started going more to the right after a while, and started just digging in this rabbit hole and started finding all this about all this culture shift and all this other type of stuff. And I just
right there, like I can't be the only person that voted for both Obama and Trump, like because I did. And I know I'm not the only one, but most people aren't gonna fucking admit that. Most people won't say that, but yeah, I did.
I did. I totally did. I totally did. That I had that red pill moment when I started seeing the media how they portrayed the Trump rallies on CNN and everything. But then I watched the rallies myself, and I'm like, what the hell? Like they try to make it like it was a white supremacist type of gathering. But I've seen plenty of black people there. I've seen people being treated nice and stuff. And I'm like, man, like I'm agreeing with Trump. Like everything he's saying, I don't find like how is this?
You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic? These same people that are just like, well, this is a hyper like feminist. I mean, excuse me. How do I say this? It is like these characters that we want in video games that are women. It's like, oh, hyper female that is unrealistic, but then like how they depict things that they don't agree with are like hyper versions of the truth. And
they'll do, these are the same people that'll do political cartoons that are caricatures of like the 50-year-old dad with the MAGA hat or whatnot screaming at his 17-year-old daughter. Like that's also a hyper interpretation.
Yeah, I started realizing the moment you have an opinion that's different than theirs, that's when they throw these labels at you. And when I started realizing that, I say, yo, you people like you created Trump. I was like people like you that's always pointing the finger, you're a racist, you're this, that, and the other. A lot of people's not going to come out and admit it now. Like once it's time to go into that voting booth, they hit that poll and voted for Trump and voted more conservative, and people shocked when he won. Like, how the hell this happened? It happened because everybody's calling you calling me a racist, you calling me a sexist, you call me all these names and shit like that. You disagree with me, so I voted for this cat.
The thing is, it's like at the end of the day, we just want to get back to a semblance of being able to have discussions, being able to actually deal with normal human beings. Literally, I just go on Twitter, and when I comment on things, it's simply just for me to say something that I know is really chilled back. It's nothing crazy by any means, but I'm gonna say it, and I know that the response is going to be this insane, like you're the worst thing ever created because you have this opinion. And that was with the Fortnite character. Like literally all I said was, oh well, this character is fat, ugly, flat ass. That was literally what I said. And out of that came all these fucking NPC fucking leftist maniacs. And I don't even know if they're leftists. At the end of the day, they're about the whole fucking woke culture, whatever have you. Because they think that women should be probably more than ever depicted in this way, because this is what women look like. Bro, I never ever in my life want to look like that. I would probably like if it came, and I personally discussed my weight loss journey, and I lost 60 pounds because I was like, honestly, I got that way in the first place because I was depressed. I was depressed after my grandmother died. And that was a big personal blow to me, because that was my favorite person, period, out of anybody in this world. And that put me in this like 6 years of just I don't care.
Yeah.
And that led to me gaining 60 pounds. And then I looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, I don't recognize this person. This isn't me.
When you told me you used to be 100 pounds heavier than you were, I'm beyond surprised, because your jawline could cut fucking glass. And I'm like, man, usually when people lose weight, they at least still got some little jowls or whatever. But nah, Cass over here ready to like use her fucking chin as Dante's sword. Like,
pretty much, man. I think it would get the job done for sure. But yeah, like when I look at these characters that are depicted as fat, particularly, to me that says, when I look at someone that is heavyweight, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's something wrong with them in terms of their mental situation. If it be a family issue, if it be a person, like something personal in their life, is off balance and depressing or something that they're having a hard time dealing with, and the visual representation of that tends to be your weight. That happens 9 times out of 10. When you're making characters, particularly that are obese, that means you're championing these people being in their worst place ever, not just from a visual perspective, but a mental perspective as well. And when I see that, and I see the attempt to make this normal, it kills me inside because I've been there. I've been there where I was super depressed.
By shutting down their fucking heart and arteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like and that's like people wonder why I stand so firmly on this, and it's because, man, I was in such a fucked up place in my life that I got really fucking fat, and it's depressing. There's no woman and nobody, but particularly no woman wants to be overweight. That is a reality. There's no woman that wants to, but there are a lot of women out here that are willing to settle. And there are a lot of people encouraging women to settle being at their worst. And that to me is detrimental in itself to society. We're seeing how this is going, and it's not going well. And we shouldn't be trying to normalize this. I shouldn't be forced to play as fat, ugly characters because, well, it's gonna make women feel good about themselves. They're never gonna feel good.
Street Fighter 4, like who the fuck played as Rufus, the big fat American dude? When you could play as Ken, the Jack.
I never played Rufus ever in my life.
I think he's the only character in that entire game I never played once.
I never played his fat ass at all. To be honest with you, I never did. Like I'm like, as soon as I saw his fat ass, I'm like, I'm not playing him.
But this is the problem, man. We're trying to normalize these terrible habits that people can pretend that they're happy being 300 pounds, but in their when they go to bed at night,
they're taking a bite of that fucking pepperoni, like they're happy for a millisecond when it's fucking sliding down their gullet and like, yum, fucking fried cheese. But then 2 hours later, they're miserable, dying on the recliner.
They can pretend that they're happy, but I guarantee you they're not when they're actually, when they go to bed at night and they can be honest with themselves, they aren't happy. And then the weight is going to take its toll sooner or later. It's only a matter of time. I mean, I point at wrestler Nia Jax. She's
can't seem to gain or lose weight. Nah, dude. I've seen you. Your body's fucking good, dude. Don't be trying to gain nor lose nothing. Like you're a very fine looking specimen. Like.
And look, man, Nia Jax is on a weight loss journey, and she used to be a very overweight wrestler in wrestling. At a very young age, she had to have double knee surgery. And make no fucking, you could make any excuse you want to book. The fact of the matter is her weight definitely had a huge assist in her having to get double knee surgery at a young age. So these things,
and another fat fuck, Dewdrop. Like anytime Dewdrop would come on a fucking wrestling match, me and my homie were like, oh, we cannot wait just to see her get like plowed into the ground, turning like some fucking Jello or something, because we could not stand this fat bitch coming out here in a leotard looking like a real overweight Zero Suit Samus dressed in green. We were so sick and tired of this fat fuck.
She's actually a good wrestler. I watched her in the Indies when she was like, I think her name was Viper or some shit like that. And she's a good wrestler. Imagine how good she'd be if she was 100 pounds lighter and could fucking, has that ability to feel better physically and to perform in the ring. She's actually a talented wrestler. But yeah, she became kind of a weird character. This might be the first time
I've ever heard you give props to a female wrestler on screen because you normally talk such mad shit on him.
Yeah,
well, I could tell that she's very talented.
Yeah, and then a lot of them don't want to better themselves or lose the weight. Like I think of
they're convincing themselves that it's okay.
Jack Black said something very interesting. Like this is like a decade or so ago. Someone asked him in an interview if he'd ever considered, getting fit and losing weight or whatnot, and he said no, that would be career suicide.
Yeah, because he's known for that. So I see what he's trying to say. Like the singer Adele, like she was the champion or the icon for heavyset people. But the moment she lost her weight, that community attacked her
online.
Yeah, they tore her apart, and that's fucked up. Like
it was probably a lot easier to tear her apart because there was less flab to go around.
Yeah, and the thing was, they went after her is because when she was a heavier woman, it just justified them being fat. That hey, if she can be a famous person and she's fat, then it's okay for me not to change or lose any weight. But the moment she lost that weight, that was like a reflection of what they're not doing. And they all just started coming after her and stuff like that. And she responded back like, no, I'm happy with my life. Like, how dare you use me as your mascot, you know?
Well,
for,
it wasn't
you know,
one of her big things that she wanted to be healthier for her daughter, so she was around for her daughter's life or whatnot. Like, yeah, I think that's a pretty solid fucking goal. But once again, you get back to these people that don't value families, that don't value raising kids. And like, I can only imagine what it would be like myself. I've never been a particularly big individual, but, you know, Cass, I don't know if you remember now, when you first found me, you know, about 6 months or so ago, however long it was, I was noticeably heavier. I've lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months because I'm like, I wasn't exactly, you know, fat, but I was definitely headed that direction. I didn't want to. I was like, now in my head, I fantasized about being what I was in high school. Realistically, there's probably no way to do that. That was over a decade ago, but I can definitely get to a good, healthy, you know, body mass muscle ratio that, you know, with eating good. All it does is take some fucking dedication, and people are so worried, want instant gratification so much, they're not willing to put in the work for the long haul. Like you see this even in video games, people throwing a fit about, oh, this game's 120 hours, you know, they're not getting that instant gratification because 10 hours of tutorial. Well, you're about to have a 120-hour experience. Buckle in for the 10 hours of tutorials because you're going to need it for the 110 that come afterwards. Everyone wants instant gratification in every little bit of their life nowadays, no matter what it is, from hobbies like video games to getting like fit, not even like jacked or cut, just healthy.
Yeah. I mean, social media culture did that, the instant gratification. Like your cell phone, your mobile device, man, it gives you that instant dopamine rush. You know what I'm saying? Talking to people, looking at comments. TikTok made it worse because now TikTok videos are very short. Now you're getting short dosage of content, and now people don't want to do long-term content because the short-term content gives them that instant gratification. You know, it's just dumbing down society. It's dumbing it down.
And like so many people, like when I first got into doing YouTube and whatnot, my whole thought was, I know I'm not going to be making, you know, like videos that get thousands of views out the gate. That's something that's going to come with time. And, you know, if I get there at all, and if not, you know, you've got to work at it. You got to keep putting in the work. Like the video I put out today has gotten, like it's almost at 700 views, which is pretty, you know, decent, a little over average for me. But the video I put out yesterday got like 30 maybe. So, you know, there's just some things that, like, you can't sit there and expect to be great right out the gate. And when a video does more than 300, I'm happy. Now, you know, people get into doing this and they're like, they want to make, you know, thousands of views right off the bat. And you got to go in with the realistic expectation of, no, you're going to start off with some single double digits. You're going to get better. You're going to find out what you're doing wrong. Hopefully you're going to surround yourself with people who are able to help you and nurture you, like what Cass did with me. Like, the only reason I genuinely credit my progress that I've made is single-handedly to Cass here. And I think that if more people got into this headspace of, this is going to take time. Like in my head, I've got a 5-year plan for YouTube of where I want my views and my numbers and my personal situation to be within 5 years. I've only been doing this 8 months. It might sound insane for some people to make a 5-year plan, but to me, I was like, no. It's you're going to have to know now that you are not going to be doing gangbuster numbers unless you get real lucky or unless you are really talented or some combination of both. Then you just got to stick with it and put in the work. Yeah, I do videos almost every day. Obviously, there's going to be some days where I just don't want to do a video. But if you do that, if you're like, I don't want to do a video today, so I'm not going to, it makes it easier to not do it the next time you don't want to make a video, then the next time. And then you just end up stop doing it. So like, no, it's just like going to the gym. There's obviously going to be days you don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to, you know, work the bench press. You don't want to hop on the treadmill, whatever. But the moment you tell yourself, I'm just not going to go today, I'm not feeling it, it's that much easier to just keep not going.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to. That's why I learned. Like, you have to create a pattern for yourself. Once you get into that pattern, like, you just keep going. You'll never break it. Like the same thing with the gym. I created a whole new lifestyle for myself. I get up 4:30 every morning and I go straight to the gym. I do an hour in the gym, come home, freshen up again, and then I walk for 5 miles, and then by the time I come back home, it's 7 a.m. I have a whole day to myself. Because my issue was my whole issue was being a content creator. I couldn't, like, how can I fit in my exercise while trying to do YouTube videos, while trying to do 3D hentai animations, while at the same time trying to create comics, stories for my comics and stuff like that. How can I fit all this in one fucking day? You know, and the thing that was dragging me was exercising, like trying to fit, because once I do my exercise, I'm tired. My body is beat. And I would do it like in the afternoon. And then I realized that, no, Brian, get your ass up and go in the morning time, early in the morning. Get your workout done early, and you still have the rest of the day to yourself. And that's how I was able to pattern myself. But you're right. The moment you try to convince yourself, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And then you go from tomorrow to never doing it at all. So then I started getting into that groove. Like the moment I start saying to myself, maybe I should go a little bit later today. No, that's the time I should get up and take my ass to the gym. Every time you start having those doubts or making those excuses, those are the time when you should act on it and do it. Yep. And that's how I got into those habits,
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely great advice overall.
And we hope that you guys in the chat are listening. You get off your fat asses and get to the gym. A Dragon Slayer, I see you. Get the fuck off your fat ass, Dragon Slayer, and get to the goddamn gym. Stop making these Witcher videos and get to the gym. No, I'm joking. I love you, Dragon Slayer.
I'm not going to a gym. My weight loss journey is exclusively by dieting, and I lifted not a single finger.
And
just dieting.
Exactly. Yeah, dieting is important. Like for me, for instance, back in 2018, I had I went to the emergency room. I had a splitting headache and everything. So I go to the emergency room. They check my blood pressure, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Blackson, we want to hold you here. Your blood pressure is through the roof. Like you can have a heart attack. You can have a heart attack."
Sorry, I saw someone comment.
And I'm like, "What the hell?" So
wow.
They start doing all this testing on me and everything, and I was 180 pounds at that time, and they told me I was overweight and I had high blood pressure. And they would say, "Mr. Blackson, you have to change your diet. You want to start losing some weight." And I used to look in the mirror. Because before, when I went to college, I was only 130 something, and then I went through my depression as well after I got out of college and everything. I ended up becoming 180, and I'm 5'5". I'm a short dude. So
see, that's where I was sitting. I was super unhappy with myself at 180, and I'm 5'8". I'm gonna be real, man. And like, you look absolutely taller than me, and you're like at 180. I felt incredibly awful at 5'8". So I can only imagine how you felt at 5'5".
Yeah, and I said to myself, like, I have to change this because I have a daughter. I can't leave this world like early, I can't leave my daughter. So I had to change. I had to change the way I eat. I had to change everything. So they told me I couldn't go to the gym because they said lifting weights will also skyrocket my blood pressure. They said I'll have to get it down to a certain point till I'll be able to go back and start lifting weights and whatever. So what I did was I ended up losing 30 pounds just by walking 5 miles every day. 5 miles every day. Oh, yeah. And I stopped. I had smaller portion meals because my problem was I went through this craze in my depression. I will order McDonald's for lunch. And then I would go to the corner store and get a cheesesteak for dinner. And I was doing that every day. Drinking 2-liter Mountain Dews every day. It was the soda. I quit soda. I haven't had soda in 4 years. And just quitting soda made me lose weight.
Big difference.
Big difference. Big difference.
Easily.
Big difference.
I didn't even quit soda. I switched to zero sugar and limit myself to when I'm streaming or whatnot, so I have something to wet my whistle. But I always, if I have soda, I'm balancing out with tea and water and sugar-free vitamin water. So like those are the only 4 things I drink: tea, water, sugar-free vitamin water, and then I'll have usually 1 soda a day, maybe 2 if it's a really long day, and then some days I have absolutely none. I basically, for whatever's 1 soda I'm having 3 of another sort of healthy drink, whether it be green tea. I don't add anything to my tea. I do straight green tea, no sugar, no honey, no sweetener, nothing. And so for every 1 soda, I'm having 3 of something that I would think would be healthy and good for you.
Yeah. So I went a whole year without eating McDonald's. They told me to stay away from fast food. So I went a whole year without fast food. I had to cook my own food. And when I started learning how to cook my own food, I know what to put in it. I had to avoid sodium. They put me on high blood pressure medications and stuff. And before I knew it, man, like I lost a bunch of weight. But it got to the point where I lost too much weight. Cause I started looking like a cancer patient. Like my head big, but my body was super skinny and stuff like that. It was looking really, really bad. So I learned how to like balance that out. And ever since that happened, man, I look in the mirror. I said, this is the body that I want. This is the body that I like. And now I'm able to go back to the gym. Now I'm lifting weights. I want the abs and I want the chest and stuff like that, And I thank God, like I'm proud of myself. And now when I look in the mirror, I look at my old picture of me with the round, heavy face and everything, I'm like, I never want to go back to that ever again. I never want to go back.
And look at all three of us talking about like how we dealt with shit and how like we managed to better ourselves. And I think that's an important
and didn't call each other bigots once.
Yeah, like the fact is that you can make a change if you commit to it.
Yeah,
that's just all it takes. If you tomorrow say like I want to change my weight and I want to be healthier, you could do it. It's fairly easy, but bringing it back to like how, you know, society is now, they want you to be okay with living your worst possible life.
Yeah,
it's not a good life to be in a situation where you are extremely overweight. All the clothes that you wear, they just don't fit right. They, you know, some people, they can't go to the amusement park and go on rides because unfortunately they're over the weight limit. And if you definitely shouldn't be on the fucking rides if you're overweight. The last thing that we need is to put other people at risk.
The ride changed.
Yeah, that's a thing too. But you know, just to keep the situation short, man, you can change. Do not let the narrative be changed that, oh, it's okay to have like these characters that are fat or even ugly, whatever. Like, you could look like a fucking video game character if you put in the work. Look at all these fucking people in Hollywood. If they didn't have all that money and shit, you think that they would look as nice as some of them do? And to be honest with you, some of them look fucking beat up either way. But like, you know, it comes with money for them. But with time and effort put in, you could look like a fucking, like you deserve to be in a video game. Like, you could look like that. You may not look exactly like that, but you could look like, hey, this person could be a video game. It could happen. Like, don't let people tell you to settle for less than what you can be. Why the fuck would you accept that? But guys, real quick, we do gotta keep it moving because it's a crazy discussion. I really do appreciate the discussion. But we do have to get to the final topic tonight. And that is the Microsoft Activision merger. And I avoided talking about this shit as much as I possibly could for like the past 2 years because it's annoying. It is really annoying, but I'm happy that there is a conclusion.
Can I address one more comment though? No, shoot. 5 Izzy 5. I love you. You're great in the Discord, and I love seeing you in here. And we've had some great conversations. But now, do not be happy. You say be happy with who you are. Do not be happy with who you are if you can be better. So exactly. I get the sentiment. It's a nice sentiment of be happy with who you are. But if you can be better and if you can do the world better by being better, don't be happy with who you are. Like always strive to improve.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that sentiment as well. Definitely strive to be the best version of yourself. That's really what it boils down to. But
no disrespect to you either, Izzy. Like I said, I very much love seeing you in the comments and whatnot. We've had some great conversations. I just wanted to point that out there more to everyone, not just to you.
Yeah, a lot of people, like in a lot of ways, we're being like influenced to just accept things that we shouldn't be okay with. And you know, I get, and I totally like, I can respect someone that's like, hey, I don't want to do this, and this is my life, and I get it. But to force like the narrative upon other people and to force me to change how I think because you choose to be complacent, I'm against that. But let's not. We could be all night.
Yeah. We definitely
talk about Microsoft and
Yes. But we do have a conclusion now. You know, the FTC had a serious issue with this Activision Blizzard merger, which went to court, and it was a kangaroo court for the most part. In my personal opinion, I don't know how you feel, Mugen, but I didn't feel like the FTC really brought forth anything worth even discussing to the table. I thought that there could have been more of an argument if they actually tried, but it didn't even seem like they were there to try. But they're upset with the merger. And they even, when the decision was made, they even tried to reverse it. Like, they tried to give us a second chance. And it's like, you didn't even give yourself a first chance. Like, what? And I think everyone here is just over it. But like, yo, you're a bit of an Xbox dude. To me, I don't like to call myself neutral. I'm here for the games. Wherever they are is where I'll be if I want them. But how do you feel about overall, you know, Activision, the sentiments of Xbox obtaining them, like how this all went down?
Well, the thing is, like, this whole thing has been annoying to me. That's why, like, I jump in and out of it. I haven't really been following it all the way through because it's just all over the place, and it always goes into a console war thing. It's always just fanboys going back and forth, going back and forth. So no one is really giving an honest take. Everybody's being biased on their end. Me, like I said in my videos when I talked about this whole Activision Blizzard situation, is that I really have no dog in this fight. I own all the consoles, so I don't really show no loyalty to a console because I'm a gamer first. I go wherever the games are at. I want to play games. Give me some good fucking games. I'm good to go. So as far as this acquisition go, I would say this. I don't want acquisitions done, period. I don't care if Sony does it. I don't care if Microsoft does it. To me, I don't really think it does the industry good when you have a bunch of companies just being Pac-Man and just eating up other companies and everything like that, because then you don't have that competition. You know, competition drives, you know, better products and stuff, and gamers will win. All gamers win when you have competitors competing against one another, because when a company does one thing, I gotta up them. You know what I'm saying? And we all win. But Microsoft getting this is a big blow, to me, in my personal opinion, in the industry. I mean, like $70 billion fucking dollars. Jesus Christ! Yeah. Call of Duty. You got Spyro the Dragon. You got Crash Bandicoot. Overwatch. This is crazy. This is monumental. And for me, what's making it scary for me is that other companies are going to start panicking, and they want to start acquiring companies. It's going to become the acquisition wars, or the acquisition arc, where everybody going to start trying to gobble up companies. And I don't want that to happen, because when that happens, man, you're going to have one big player that's going to be able to dictate and control everything. We're already scared about the whole digital era that we move into. You know, the games as a service. We don't like that. But when you have a bunch of companies that all trying to eat up stuff and everything and own everything, us gamers, we're not going to be able to have choice.
That goes to show how afraid they are of because like they're eating these companies up to avoid the competition, which breeds complacency. Now they don't have to get better to beat the competition because they own them. They're not competition anymore.
Exactly. I'm afraid of it. And then you have fanboys saying, well, they should buy Sony should buy Square Enix. But I'm like, why? Because I mean, Square Enix don't really put shit on Microsoft Xbox much anyway. So what's the point of them going to buy Square Enix?
How many people bought Final Fantasy 13-3 on fucking Xbox?
Yeah, and I said, why would you want them to do that? Because then it's going to fuck over Nintendo. Nintendo gets some nice titles from Square Enix, the little side, you know, like projects and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. But we would never get that if Sony buy them. So why would you want that? This is we shouldn't have this.
Sony, and it sucks
the piracy argument though. People are more likely to pirate games for PC because they're now locked on a console that they don't have, if it's whether it be Nintendo or Sony.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense that people in particular. There's like, you know, the acquisition is going through. I know that there's some things that need to be worked out in regards to the CMA. It seems like they were going to cave with some, you know, with some general, I guess, stipulations, because it seemed the CMA was like, no, for the dumbest reason, particularly the cloud gaming, a thing that hasn't even developed properly yet. So
you keep saying CMA, and I keep thinking Country Music Awards. It shows how white I am, and it pisses me off.
Oh my god! Well, the CMA is the UK's version of the FTC.
I know. I've been following the story. I know. It just I have to readjust my mind when I hear CMA. When fucking presidents out there, we're gonna get rid of the three agencies, the FBI, the CIA. Now get rid of the CMA. Ain't no one in America need country music. I swear to Christ.
But you know what, man? It's like the whole fanboy war shit is so fucking ridiculous, because it's like this is going through, and immediately the first thing is, well, how does Sony get back Microsoft for this? And it's like, the fact that you're even thinking this is fucking dumb. And the first thing you're like, well, let's acquire Square Enix, and it's like, so how does this benefit Sony to begin with? Because they already are kind of getting these exclusive games that they're getting. It seems as though more than anything else, they would just be inheriting a lot of Square Enix's own problems. And it's like, but all they see is, well, how do we get them back? It's so insane. And then here's another thing that I want to get your perspective on, because a lot of people are now saying, particularly on the PlayStation fanboy side, well, do you think that Microsoft is going to ruin Call of Duty?
As if it wasn't already ruined?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play Call of Duty. Call of Duty's ass to me. So, but the thing is, Yeah, the thing is, like, as long as Microsoft just let them continue doing what they're doing, don't touch anything, just give them just
make it better.
Yeah, just make it better, but just finance them, give them the money that they need to make it better. As long as they don't touch anything, let them continue to do what they normally do, just give them the money that they need to make it better. Then I don't see Call of Duty falling apart or being ruined at all, you know? So
yeah, to me, I think it's a positive that, like, so I bought Modern Warfare 2 Remake. It is horrible. It is the most. There is no gratification
really
in any way,
sad,
shape,
that
or
was
form.
the last good real, like the original Modern Warfare 2 was the last good Call of Duty game.
It's a shame because it is so insufferably unfun, and I chase multiplayer. It's like a rarity to find a good one nowadays. So like I want to give it a try because
co-op's not a thing anymore.
I mean, that's, that is definitely a topic of discussion, but it's one of the, if not the worst Call of Duty I have ever fucking played. There's not I can't point to a single time where I genuinely had fun other than like that first kind of couple of days where everyone kind of was new to it and they didn't know how to scumbag every fucking thing. But then when you get a week into it, everyone figures out how to do the most scummiest dick face shit, and then it becomes insufferable in the multiplayer. Don't even get me started about Warzone 2. Garbage. I don't give a shit. But it's like, to think like, oh, is Microsoft going to ruin Call of Duty when it is fucking insufferable already? At this point, make or break. If Microsoft kills it, then so be it. It is what it is. I ain't missing nothing because I refuse to pay full price for any of these motherfuckers. If I can at least give it a chance on Game Pass out of curiosity for shits and giggles, I'll do that. But you think I'm actually going to spend $70 for these piece of shit games that have been piece of shits for a while? Hell no, dude. It is insane that people think with this whole fanboy, mentally deranged freaking mindset.
Yeah, well, I will say this. Because it's acquisition, it should get Sony off their ass because they have so many IPs that they don't even use. Killzone, what the fuck? Resistance, what the fuck happened to that?
Right, where's Resistance?
Yeah, they have they do have like first-person shooter IPs that they just killed off. But because it's acquisition, that should put more flame under their ass to revive those IPs to create their own kind of Call of Duty or something that can rival Call of Duty. Because my thing is, I don't like they have a deal for 10 years for a decade of Call of Duty. We don't even know if Call of Duty is going to be popular within the next 10 years. We don't even know, Yeah. So I mean, the focus and they need to worry about the IPs that they have lying dormant. And like I said, it breeds competition. It should put a flame underneath Sony's ass to continue to produce great content and everything. But
I hope so.
Yeah, man.
The big thing that Sony's gearing up for, and they've invested a lot of money, is not just necessarily multiplayer, but service-based.
Jesus
games.
Christ, yeah. That's why they got Bungie. That's why they acquired Bungie, because of their knowledge for service games. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, so it's like we've been saying, like, I was a primary PS4 gamer last year. Like, I had everything, but I primarily spent most of my time on a PS4. It's where most of my friends were. It was, for the most part, they kept me relatively happy.
I didn't buy a Switch until 2.5 years ago, which was pretty far into the Switch's life cycle. So yeah, I was a PS4 gamer for 4 or 5 years. From
Yeah, like every generation before last generation, I always had all the competitors' consoles. I always had all three. But when we got to the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U generation, I was like, fuck the Xbox One. Because I went strictly to the PS4 because I'm like, what was the point of the Xbox One? Because the thing about the 360 was the best like iteration of the Xbox. I love the Xbox 360. They had great.
Yeah, me too.
I'm my main Xbox guy, but I can appreciate your opinion.
Yeah. They had they had the superior like multi-plats, and they had some good first parties, and they had a great online community. The Xbox Live,
features.
Yeah, social features. Yeah. So I stayed there on the Xbox. I owned it. I hardly touched my PS3. Same. My PS3 was collecting dust. The only reason why my Wii was getting played was because of Super Smash Bros. Brawl and most of the first party Nintendo games. But other than that, my 360 was that console. But when we got to that next generation and they pulled that shit with the DRM and also with the
It was
Connect,
cheaper.
yeah, and having to connect to it, which made
you know how mad I was about that shit.
Exactly.
God,
and
I sold my 360 after they said that. I literally did. I regret it now. It was a very emotional reaction, but I was so angry that I ended up selling my fucking 360 and all my 360 games.
Yeah,
that night they did it at E3. I literally, when they said, "Oh, it's cheaper," so I literally unhooked my 360. I put it in a bag, and I said, "Tomorrow you're going to GameStop. Goodbye." That's it.
I didn't do it I didn't do it that like immediately, but it was one of those things where like I just wrote off Xbox after that introduction to Xbox One, which I ended up getting an Xbox One. That's the funny thing. Like you think you're never going to do all these things, right? Then push comes to shove, the situation changes, a few years passes, you're like, fuck it, I want to see what's up with this shit. And it happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Well, with the Xbox One, I kept saying to myself, I had so many opportunities to buy one, but I would never get it. And then what happened was they finally announced the Xbox, what's the Xbox One X, the mid-generation console. I was like, okay, maybe I should jump in and get that version. But then I thought about it. I got afraid. I said, what if I get this and they announce the next console? That means I wasted my fucking money. So that's what made me not buy.
By the way, Xbox has the dumbest fucking naming conventions.
Yeah, dude, I was upset. Dude, I was upset when they named the Xbox One, named it the Xbox One. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, what kind of like what? I wasn't expecting the Xbox 360. I was expecting the Xbox 2 or something like that. But he went Xbox 360, so everybody was thinking that the next Xbox was gonna be the Xbox
like 720 or something,
the 720 and shit like that. But no, they went Xbox One. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. What kind of naming convention is this?
Well, I mean, like, so with this acquisition, it's still gonna take time for it to fully go through. But what are you hoping? Like, Xbox, like, what games are you hoping Xbox is gonna dive into in Activision's bag?
They're gonna make a console story-driven one-player version of a game that takes place in the Warcraft universe.
That'd be interesting, but I to be honest,
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying that that's what they'll probably do.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not really an Activision fan. I don't really own a lot of Activision games, so
even from back in the day.
Yeah, even back in the day, I didn't really care for Activision.
Oh man, OG Spider-Man games from Activision were.
Oh yeah, I had the PS1. Yeah, I had the PS1. I had these like little miscellaneous games, but I weren't like a hardcore fan of Activision. Like most of my games were from Japanese studios and stuff like that. So that's why I like this Activision doesn't really hit me like it's hitting everybody else because.
Well, I think it's more Blizzard that's hitting people though, because Blizzard is for so long been seen as a PC IP. So now people are going to get to see Blizzard IPs on a console, which is not. I mean, yeah, you got Overwatch, but that's really it. Like no one's sitting there being like, man, I wish StarCraft would come to Xbox and PlayStation.
Wow.
But I never played StarCraft.
They're actually gonna bring World of Warcraft to Xbox.
That'd be smart. That's the smartest thing Microsoft would do. Bring World of Warcraft over to their console and put it on Game Pass or whatever.
If I was them, I would redo it and make World of Warcraft a free to play.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why? So you can play it without having to pay for another subscription.
I'm that snobby gamer. I don't want any free to play players playing Warcraft with me. Like,
it's coming, baby.
I never played. And guess what?
And put a battle pass right behind it. It's what you're gonna do.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hate
well,
it, but it's the truth.
For me, I'm hoping for stuff like. Obviously, Crash, Spyro. Yeah, Crash. I would love to see True Crime make a comeback because leaving off at Sleeping Dogs, and obviously Square Enix did that, but that was originally supposed to be True Crime Streets of Hong Kong. After having Sleeping Dogs being as awesome as it was and no sequel, like bring back True Crime. I don't care where it is. If it's true to True Crime.
Bring back True Crime might be the most white girl thing I've ever heard you say if that's taken out of context.
Pretty much, but also Tony Hawk, because what Activision, what killed me with Activision, what made me like fucking like hiss at them, was when they merged the company, the developer that made the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. They merged them into Blizzard. And I'm like, you stupid, dumb motherfuckers. I was hoping for Tony Hawk's Underground, you pieces of shit. Like a remake of that. And they just merged them with Blizzard. A fucking honestly, one of the greatest falling from grace developers I've ever seen. They became such a piece of shit. And they prove it every time. You give them an inch, they'll fuck you as far as they could thrust. If you just give them 1 inch, that is insane how freaking ridiculous Blizzard is. But I'm hoping, I mean, look, honestly, I've been on the low at Activision for a long time. I don't know if it can get any worse, because I'm already, like, the emotional attachment is already been severed. So if the shit goes downhill, even somehow worse than what it already has been, then so be it, man. I don't care personally. It is what it is.
And like my only dedication that I had with Blizzard, like my only real connection I had with Blizzard was Overwatch. The first Overwatch game, I played the hell out of that with my brothers, because it was the game that we was able to it was a game we was able to co-op together and play against other players. But other than that, I really have no attachment to Activision. I have no real attachment to Blizzard, and a lot of people's hating Overwatch 2 at this point. So I mean, I don't know. I just make some good games. That's all I'm asking Microsoft. You got this acquisition, do something with it. Please, just do something.
I think this acquisition did actually a lot of good in the multiplayer. I mean, Sony got what he wanted, and they're still getting Call of Duty.
You know what's crazy? Hold on. All right, finish your point, Oz, and I'll bring it.
Nintendo is really going to benefit from this too, because they're finally going to get Call of Duty. And you can grant it whatever the next Smash Brothers is now. Crash Bandicoot's probably going to be in it, because look at Banjo-Kazooie. They let that happen.
Yeah.
Here's a big going to be a next Smash though. Masahiro Sakurai said he was done.
I don't know about anyone else.
Well, he put it out there that if he could, he will probably be like a consultant or something like that. But Smash Bros. need a break. Like it needs a break for years and years. And if it returns, it's not going to be. You're not going to see a lot of third party. It's going to be a reboot. It's going to be a reboot. Sakurai did say with Ultimate.
I don't know, man.
No, he did say in Ultimate, this was the only opportunity that he was able to have all of these characters in there. He said if he was to do another Smash Bros., don't expect that ever again. This was the only opportunity. They still had the license. It was a struggle to get all these characters. So I think the next Smash Brothers, if
it's an insane feat.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he said don't expect a new Smash Brothers to be this big. So I think they're going to reboot it, like a brand new team. They're going to reboot it. I would love for them to stick to only Nintendo characters, because I missed that, because after a while it wasn't like a Nintendo celebration. Like
exactly,
you started getting everybody in.
Too many third-party DLC.
There's too many. Yeah, it started taking away like from other Nintendo characters that could have been in it. I like the fact, man, I went crazy when Cloud was in it. I went crazy when Bayonetta was in it. But I do want more Nintendo representation, rather than what's the next third party character that's going to be in here.
But that's what made it fun though. Third party that's celebrated for being on Nintendo consoles, like because there's third party game like the original Final Fantasy games were Nintendo. Like they obviously Squaresoft made it, but they were Nintendo exclusive. You put in the hero from Final Fantasy VI, I'd be all right with that, because that is a Nintendo game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but guys, real quick, bringing it back to this acquisition situation, because
we're all trying to avoid that so hard.
Well, I mean, there's an autopsy to be had here, like it really just is. Not just with this acquisition in regards to the companies, but the fucking community too. The gaming community has been such a pile of shit for years because of this shit. But I think it's important to really bring up the reality that PlayStation was so cocky they thought this shit wasn't going to go through. They rejected a 10-year deal to bring all of Activision's IPs to their platform, thinking that it wasn't going to go through. And now the only deal that they got was just for Call of Duty. That says a lot to me. Yeah. That says a lot to me about PlayStation, because one, there's a lot of IPs there that could potentially become a thing. PlayStation PlayStation 5 and 6 ain't getting that shit. A lot of people think it's not a big deal. They're trying to downplay it. And what kills me is that it exposes all PlayStation really does care about is the mainstream audience. Because, let's just get Call of Duty. You know what? We do have limited money, but let's get Call of Duty and let's secure Spyro and Crash, because those are longtime PlayStation property. They didn't even give a fuck about that. All they care about is the mainstream audience. And to me, that I think that what I hope is that this really does bring PlayStation down a notch or two to reality. Because I think not only has PlayStation been extremely cocky the past few years, and I understand the sentiment. PS4 was an extremely successful generation, extremely lucrative for them.
Exactly.
And they earned that. But this is a new generation, and you fighting for my money. And you're not doing it in the way that I want. And that's what's made me gravitate towards PC gaming, because I seen the writing on the wall with the bullshit that PlayStation, and honestly, I think a lot of PlayStation fanboys need to be taken down a notch or two, because they have been extremely bold and fucking foolish for years, thinking that PlayStation can't be fucked with. And look, because of your platform that you value, and Jim Ryan's your guy and shit. Jim Ryan fucked you out of getting pretty much all these Activision Blizzard games in the future by being as cocky as you.
Yeah,
but
you said something that made sense. You said something that made sense. Like this generation, I'm not gonna lie, I became more of a PC gamer more than anything this generation. PC gamer, and I have my Switch. Like there's really at this point no reason, because now that Sony is putting in a lot of their first party titles over on the PC, like at this point it's going to be, even though you have to wait a year later or whatever, there's really no sense to get a PlayStation now at this point. Microsoft already been putting their games on PC or whatever like that. But now you look at these newer consoles, the PS5 is barely having games at 60 frames per second, while 4K, and they're struggling to get all these great frame rates and stuff. And PC is looking more and more, the gaming choice platform for me now. I've been buying a lot of games for the PC, and I've been playing my Switch more than my PS5 and my Xbox more than anything. So you really brought the light to that when it comes to that too as well. This generation.
Yeah, they were really cocky too, because Xbox is what helped Sony get their servers online. They helped Sony get their at the beginning. I believe it was the PlayStation 4 era, the PlayStation 5 era, but they're the ones who really got their service kickstarted going. They're the one who bought.
I get the general. I can't think of what it is exactly, but I know what you're kind of talking about.
They help them a lot.
But like it isn't help. It is a business decision. Like to me, like that's just Microsoft and PlayStation did business, and they exchanged money for a service. I mean, that kind of just is what it is. But PlayStation isn't involved, and they aren't completely self-sustainable. That's the reality. And I think that they're going to have to. They're going to be confronted with that reality more than ever before, because Xbox is changing its infrastructure to not be generational. That's just what it is. Whether there's a console that is a traditional sense in the future after Xbox Series consoles, I don't know. But they're going to eliminate the generational thought process that we've been growing accustomed to. PlayStation has not begun that true infrastructure yet. They're kind of just seeing the right now money and not the future money. If Xbox is in a situation, if Xbox puts itself in a situation where next gen, they have an instant install base of, like, let's say fucking 100,000 people that have instant access to their new next gen games, and PlayStation's like, well, we got to start from the first sale on the PS6. That's going to be a problem, and a lot of people are not seeing the big picture with that. And if
that's
you
why
don't see that, you fucking sleep.
Yeah, that's why I've been telling Sony fanboys that they always rag on Microsoft. And like I said, I'm not a Microsoft fanboy, but I've always been saying that, Microsoft is playing the long game here. Everybody's looking at the short game, but they've been playing the long game since the Xbox One. They've been trying to play the long game. They was looking into the future, But they've been stopped in their tracks for a little bit. But this is what they've always been planning since day one. This was their plan. And now,
and they
like
have sacrificed. And let me put this out there: they have sacrificed a lot for that, including my interest in their platform. But they're trying to win people back in some way, shape, or form. But I'm sorry about that. Please continue.
No. But yeah, that's they seen this. This is what they were looking into the future for. You know what I'm saying? And now we're finally here, and Sony been smacked in the face with this whole acquisition right now. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that they saw, and all I'm just saying is like, make it count, Microsoft. You got what you wanted. You was willing to have a lot of your player base fall off and go over to Sony and go over to the PC and everything. Make it count. Make this whole thing worth it. Since you went all the way out the way, and then $70 billion fucking dollars. Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Do you
of
realize
money.
how outrageous $70 billion is when you think about the fact that Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion?
Jesus,
like Star Wars is infinitely a more famous IP than anything Blizzard and Activision can provide, and Disney bought that for $4 billion. $70 billion. That number is retarded.
Yeah,
it's the biggest acquisition in media history.
Yeah.
How much did Disney spend to acquire 20th Century Fox?
Not that much.
I think it was like 23 billion.
It was like 20 something. It was like 20 something. Yeah.
Damn. Yep. Wow. That is a big fucking deal. Holy shit. I mean, you really put it into perspective, right?
Yeah. Like these acquisitions is no joke.
Oh, no. Hold on. No. Disney closed at 71.3 billion.
Oh.
Damn. So
I
Disney beat them out by a couple of billion, because I was like 69 billion for the Activision acquisition, right?
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's
these IPs are a lot of money, and we've seen how Disney has screwed the pooch with the 20th Century Fox acquisition, and how they're going down the toilet. I can only, it's like, look, am I celebrating this? No. Do I see some positives? Yes. Yeah. Do I see some negatives with this? Yes. I'm concerned with the future of gaming entirely across the board, with all of the major console manufacturers, with the mass majority of these devs. I mean, I'm not upset. I'm not happy by the Xbox shit. I mean, it's nice to watch ponies fucking cry. I'm not gonna lie. That's it's entertaining because they've been on their fucking high horse for so long. But in the end, how is this gonna make gaming better for me as a longtime gamer, as someone that I'm concerned with the future of gaming? I wanted to get better.
Because you said you weren't upset. That's why I am upset, because I actually only see downsides. Not necessarily a downside in terms of like console wars or whatnot, because that's that's going to happen no matter what happens. The console wars are always going to be a thing. But back to what Mugen Lord was saying earlier, the downside for me is just lack of competition. I think that any time competition gets taken out of the equation, that is an inherent downside. That there's no replacing that. Like what did Disney, when Disney bought Fox, what did they do? Oh, okay, now they can introduce the X-Men in the MCU. Big fucking deal. Like now there's no competition for Disney. I mean, obviously there is, but not enough for it to there's one less piece of competition. So there is no positive that outweighs the downside of less competition in the market, aside from maybe pissing enough people off for them to go indie. People as in the
that's the thing too. I have been like someone that's saying, if you truly care about the industry and all these acquisitions, then why are you not buying smaller scale games from smaller scale developers, helping them build up their brand, helping them having companies replace these companies being bought up? To me, that's important. Like, we need to build that shit up. And I buy a bunch of indie games. I support a lot of smaller scale games because I want these holes in the industry that are being created from these acquisitions to be replaced. You have to build up the third party because it is being bought up, and I understand that sentiment. But to me, I don't see all negative. Like I said, I think that having a third option with Game Pass could be a good thing, or even with PlayStation's version of Game Pass. But it's like, to me, I think it is cool to be able to buy a physical copy of a game, to buy a digital copy of a game, or to subscribe to the service to try a bunch of fucking different games and see if I like any of them. Like, I think that all three of these things are cool. To me, not having to pay $70 to try Call of Duty is better. I think that Activision was killing itself for a long time now. So maybe with Xbox behind it, maybe that something better can come out of it, because I was completely unhappy with the way they were running their business
Has this
anyway.
ever happened for a game company before, though? Because originally Activision and Blizzard were not. There were separate companies.
Well,
so you had two companies come together, then a third company buy these other. This is effectively 3 companies in one now. Has that been done before?
Well, Microsoft bought Bethesda.
But I was about to say about
Bethesda wasn't a merger company, was it?
ZeniMax, I think it was ZeniMax is with them, but there's a bunch of different it's a bunch of companies with them. But like when I heard that news, I woke up in the morning. I remember when they acquired Bethesda. I woke up in the morning, turned on the computer, and it says "Welcome to the Xbox family." I'm like, what the fuck?
That was the big thing of the time.
Yeah, I was like, what? I did not see that coming. I'm like, what the hell was going on? Especially when I saw Doom. I said, these motherfuckers got Doom. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is only happening with third party or with American companies, though. Like no one's attempted to buy Sega. No one's attempted to buy Capcom. No one's attempted to buy Konami.
With Japanese studios, I learned that Japan had put laws in place that won't allow, or they make it harder for foreign companies to come in and acquire them. Sega, because we found out, I think in the court trial, we did find out that Microsoft was trying to get Sega. They was trying to get Square Enix. They tried to get Nintendo first. They tried to buy Nintendo.
I remember them trying to buy that. There was no way that was
never going to happen.
There's no way.
If you watch the documentary, they were very, very, very close to buying Nintendo. Like very close to dotting the lines. And they said the last minute, they said no way.
Yeah, but they put stuff in place. Japan has
they're
laws
going
in place
to
make it very
Isn't
hard.
that already been more or less confirmed that Fallout 5 is going to be an Xbox exclusive?
It's kind of the problem is that there's a lot of changes that constantly happen. I remember Phil Spencer. Get out of here, bro. He's trying to jump on Ziggy's trying to jump on stuff. But I remember Phil Spencer saying that essentially any franchise that was already featured on a PlayStation will continue to be featured on the PlayStation. I don't know if he's going to hold true to that in the future. It may be, but does he have to? No, I don't think so. He doesn't necessarily have to, right?
No, I thought that Phil Spencer said if they are whatever contract obligations that was already in place before that acquisition, I believe that's the things that he will honor.
But the thing is, he has turned on some of the things he said previously too.
Because
so it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Because like Fallout 5, I mean, I don't even think that's in development right now. So I can see that being an exclusive. But whatever games that was already like in a that they already promised, like we will honor that. But anything that wasn't in development before the acquisition, that shit gonna be exclusive. That shit gonna be exclusive. Like I wouldn't spend billions of dollars. Yeah, I wouldn't spend all that money. Yeah, I wouldn't spend all that fucking money, and then all of a sudden and still tell my competitors, yeah, sure, go ahead, you guys can still use it. What was the point of spending billions of dollars?
I mean, here's my thing though. There is a lot of PlayStation fans that will buy all these games. That is an immense amount of money that's simply just being technically left on the table. Would it putting Fallout 5 on both PlayStation 5 theoretically, if it was coming out within the next like 5 years, and Xbox Series X consoles and PC, but like PlayStation has to pay the $70 price tag, whereas like Game Pass holders on PC and Xbox, they only got to pay for a game. Wouldn't the PlayStation like the fan base or whatever the PlayStation users be funding the game so that Xbox users can play it on Game Pass?
That's smart.
Money's money at the end of the day, man. When you think about
it, right? PlayStation's fucking paying for it, and Xbox is playing it for fucking free on Game Pass. That's hilarious.
Well, they're paying for it on a service. I mean, I would have to crunch the numbers. I mean, Fallout 4, I'm sure, sold immensely on the PlayStation 4 platform.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it on the PlayStation 4, and trust me, it ran like dog shit. But people will buy it. They don't care. I think that there is at least reason to consider continuing to put these long-standing franchises like Elder Scrolls and Fallout on the PlayStation platform, because it's simply just money that they would be missing out on if they didn't do it.
No,
I think that, I mean, at this point, Xbox, like, they don't really seem to care if you buy an Xbox. They don't give a fuck.
They don't.
They don't. They want, because what they're trying to do is they want their software. They want Game Pass on every platform. If they could, they will want to put Game Pass on PS5. That's what they care about. They want. They would try. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's their end game. That's their long game, the long term that they're trying to play here or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy, man.
It is. We're in unprecedented times for gaming, and I'm concerned. And I'm hoping that I'll get some dubs out of this, but I have to say, like, I'm concerned.
I'm not a big Call of Duty person, but the fact that what they did with Call of Duty, welcoming all the Call of Duty players back and showing, like, hey, we support you and we want. Yeah, they turn all the not just one game, all of them on.
That's nuts.
That's fucking
I'll have to jump on that
crazy.
Shit.
All of them, every fucking Call of Duty that they've ever had. And Activision didn't do this. Microsoft did it themselves.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They made them do it. They made them do it. Turn them on. That's crazy.
Honestly, if they can make all the older Call of Duties like crossplay between like PC and Xbox, bro, you think I wouldn't jump on that shit? That's a big positive. Bring back all my retro Call of Duties that I actually love and appreciate, and make them crossplay between PC, Xbox, and just take care of the servers. Because I remember World at War went out fast for me because the servers were like hacked pretty early on, like fucked up on 360.
What's crazy about them doing that now? People are coming back by the fucking drones. It's not just a big crowd. Drones. One of our little group is a straight up Call of Duty guy. He's a PlayStation guy. Is now wanting to get an Xbox because they're turning back on the servers. He wants an Xbox now.
Yeah, be like that. Yep.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Axis. He's shopping for Xboxes.
Yeah, shout out to Axis. I mean, there's literally there's grown ass men tearing up over this shit.
All right. Y'all need to relax.
No. I don't
when
like
people say that shit, I instantly think of that dude that started crying watching the Star Wars trailer. That last Star Wars movie. Huh?
Listen, Listen, motherfucker, I teared up when I heard the fucking Mario RPG music. Okay, fuck off. Fuck off.
No, the thing is, I knew nothing about them bringing the lobbies back because until people was like retweeting a Call of Duty lobby and people said yes. I see a video of people just throwing racial slurs at each other in the lobby. I said, "Oh man, that reminds me of the Xbox 360 days." And they said, "No, motherfucker, this is the current. This is the current lobbies."
Everybody's back.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what?
What
do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean he brought the lobbies back? That's how I found out. I thought it was an old video back in the 360 days. All I hear is a bunch of racial slurs from everybody. And I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And these games look good because they're supporting them, like the backwards capability bullshit. They're putting like HDR on it and shit. They put a little bit like higher frame rates on me. The shit looks good. Yeah.
They need to work on more back compat shit. Like I think Xbox, like that was their one really big highlight for me. Back compat. They need to put more games on there. Like just work on. Like that's a great form of preservation. It's more of an option. Like it's not really, it kind of influenced PlayStation, I think, to try their hand in that shit with their new service, like their PlayStation Gold, whatever the fuck, their version of Game Pass or whatever. Like I want more of that.
Because by them doing this now, it's showing you they're teasing that this shit's coming to Game Pass. When this shit comes to Game Pass, it's gonna be. I feel bad for Sony. They're gonna get slapped fucking hard.
I hope that they give us this shit on PC Game Pass. This is where I don't pay the $15 for Game Pass.
I think it is.
That. I'll pay $10 and get just about the same shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, man, it's been a long podcast. But the conversation has been so good. It's been such a good. The reason why it's so long is because the conversation was really good. But I definitely don't want to keep everyone here much longer, obviously. But real quick, I do want you guys, Leon, starting off, like, promote yourself, tell people what you got going on, where they could find you at. I'm gonna post your YouTube channel, but if you want to also promote anything else, let me know.
Yeah, no, by all means. Well, once again, thank you for having me on. This is, like I said, first time on 2REAL4FEELS as someone that watches almost every Thursday. You do it and have been for a long time now. I'm not even exaggerating when I say, more or less a YouTube dream come true. I genuinely credit you for it, any modicum of success I have. So thank you very much, Cass. You're absolutely one of my best friends in this game, and so thank you for having me on. What?
You earned everything that you got.
Yeah,
bro.
you earned it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't earn it, but there was absolutely some help and some drive and whatnot, and I credit every bit of that to you. So thank you for helping me earn it and whatnot. And yeah, if you guys want to check my channel out, it is Words of Paradise. I cover pop culture through a political lens. Both I do not really take a side so much so as I will call out both sides whenever I see somebody doing something wrong or doing something dumb. Usually that is the left because they're the ones that are mostly involved in the nerd space right now. But anytime the right decides to dip their toes in it, I cover that as well because I want politics to stay out of nerd culture in general. And so yes, you feel free to hop over there. I also do positive videos. I feel like there's not enough positivity on YouTube. Granted, those videos perform like shit, but which is why you guys should go and support positivity. If someone's coming out talking about the positive new Sonic game or Wolverine's new outfit, yeah, that's a good thing. So, support positivity. But there's mostly negativity on the channel. Let's be real. But hey, it makes for fun discussions. And I am trying to take Rumble a bit more seriously. So by all means, you can pop over, find me on Rumble. It is Words of Paradise. And other than that, yeah, that's really all I've got. I very much just appreciate having you as a viewer, and I try and respond to every comment.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna post your Rumble.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I do not get involved in Rumble. I just have everything auto upload to Odyssey and just call it a day. But I probably should get involved too, honestly speaking.
Yeah, I have a Rumble.
Sure.
I don't ever even use it. I have a Rumble account. I have an Odyssey account too.
Yeah.
I hardly use that.
Oh no, wait! I think you just sent me the direct login to Rumble, not necessarily your Rumble account.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to send my Rumble account, but either way, you can just find me on Rumble. You can just find me on Rumble at Words of Paradise. I have all my stuff that I put on YouTube auto since Rumble, but after seeing what happened to Justin is Lost, I'm definitely trying to take Rumble a bit more seriously, just because it could happen to any of us.
Yes, definitely have other means. For me, that is doing Kick, I guess. But I also, like I said, have all my shit auto upload to Odyssey, so that at least I have those videos on there. But yeah, like real quick, Red Hood, yes, go back to work, bro. I know that you're here to support, but you need to go back to working because it's all you ever do. We don't even talk because it's all this shit. No, I'm playing. I'm just having a hissy fit, but no, thank you both for pulling up, Red. But yeah, Mugen, it was really awesome having you here. I know I asked you last minute, and you were like,
"Yeah, you're cool, dude."
Yeah, I'll pull up. Like, it sounds like a dope ass time. Topics are dope, but please, tell people what you got going on, where they can find you. I am gonna post your YouTube, but if you would like for me to post any other anything else you got going on, you can send me the link to it too.
Well, yeah, like I said, my name's Mugen Lord. I'm a video game channel. I cover everything gaming. I just started adding in pop culture, comic books, and everything to my channel to add a little bit of variety because I want to be more of a variety channel. The content that I have coming up, just like I did my recent video, The West Hates Women. I'll be doing another video about race swapping of characters and this whole thing with diversity and everything. And my other topic I'm gonna be doing is Elden Ring and the correlation to the loneliness of men, how men are checking out of relationships, and I'll correlate that to Elden Ring. You'll see how I'll do that. But other than that, other than that, man, like I also live stream. I have a Twitch TV. Go to my Twitch. It's Mugen Lord. You can go check that out. I'm trying to stream more often. I'm trying to get that streaming presence up. A lot of my fans are always telling me, like, Mugen Lord, come on, you need to stream. We want to throw money at you and stuff. So I will definitely be streaming more often as well. Every once in a while, I try to have special guests come on my channel. So I definitely got to get Cassie on here. I got to get all you guys that I thought all you guys that was on here. I would like to have you on my channel.
Okay. I was going to ask you on mine, so yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I'm glad I did this. I want to come out and network.
Well, that's a great comment you have behind you. I wanted to let you know that.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna watch it the whole time. I love more Cap Fun too. I love that game.
I also do. Yeah, I also do unboxings. I got a lot of action figures and stuff that I get from the Square Enix store and everything like that. Got the arcade machine over here. I do unboxings and reviews on stuff like that. So I have a good time doing this stuff. So if you want to go check me out, make sure you check me out.
Yes. And honestly, I was like, let me just throw all these three together. Obviously, Atreus having been here earlier, it's just see what happens. Fuck it, right? Like that's the coolest thing about it. And we all have like an awesome
sick of streaming with that guy. No, I'm joking.
Oh, shit. But yeah, I was like, man, let's just fucking throw these group of people together and see what happens. Maybe I'll hopefully be a good enough host to keep it together. But I hope I did do a decent job. But guys, for me, you can always check out what I got going on YouTube. Everything I do is just because I want to do it, and most of the time it's spontaneous. So I always try to have a few things going on. But I've been streaming a lot on Kick. It's just been like, even if it's like going live at 3 a.m. because I'm bored and just want to play some games and talk shit with y'all and have fun. Definitely check out Kick. It is a really dope ass alternative to Twitch. You can find it in the description. If you want to follow me there, and I encourage everyone to definitely make Kick accounts and give it a go, man, because like it's
once you get doing Kick with you, I just got to get my mic thing sorted. I'm really gonna I think I'm just gonna need to bite the bullet and say, hey, will you help me one night, because I just can't get rid of it. And the plan for my Twitch is gonna be awesome. To my knowledge, the only Magic the Gathering focused exclusive not Twitch Kick streamer, but
yeah, no, definitely if I can help. I'm not like the most tech savvy, but hey, we can, we could definitely try it and break it down and see what's up with that. But yeah, definitely follow me on Kick. What's up, Mugi?
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna go try Kick. That was I did an update. I did an update video like 2 weeks ago talking about Kick, so I was already considering going over there and giving that a try as well. I'm trying to have my face everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, and Kick seemed they've admitted they're not like a free speech platform, so that's like slightly concerning. But overall, it's a better alternative to how fucking over the top Twitch.
Anything compared to Twitch is a free speech platform, like
pretty much, yeah. So that's it's been interesting. I've just been doing whatever the fuck I want to do, and I don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not trying to do any
playlist you play while you're playing video games. It's one of the greatest playlists like out there.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a good accumulation of mostly video game music that I have playing while I'm playing like Fortnite or even Chivalry 2, whatever. Man, but I have, obviously, if you get on Kick, we could rate each other, we can grow our platforms together. It's a cool way to go about it, just like how we've been chilling here, because it does run a lot like Twitch, and it's becoming way more viable. It really is. I see new features being added all the time and stuff that they're planning to work on, and overall, like, if you have supporters that really want to support you, the best way to do it is to sub to you on Kick, because you get like every sub is like $5, and I get like $4 and like 70-something cent out of it. So like, if you really appreciate a creator, what better way to appreciate a creator than to sub to them on Kick for a month here and there, man? Or gift some subs, because they get the mass majority of that. That's awesome. But to me, I think
are you at the level where you can have people send you? Because I've tried to send you money on Kick and it's not worked. So I don't know if it's a problem with the Kick interface or what.
Maybe because I have affiliates, so it should just be like enter your information and gift the sub or whatever. But even so, man, you just being there alone, I appreciate that, man. You don't have to worry about it.
I want to support my favorite YouTuber. Damn, Cass.
You support by pulling up, bro. It's all good. Like, I'm so bad at that. Like, honestly, I'm super grateful for everything. And real quick, chat, I really do appreciate all you guys for the super chats tonight. Obviously, Where's the Paradise? He with the super chat, Dragonheart, Yobi, and G. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, and thank you so much for the channel members. I'll have you guys all lined up at the bottom there. I really appreciate it. And overall, everyone that pulled up, Izzy, Drewy, Iron Red Hood, even though he's at work, he be pulling up just to say what's up. Appreciate that, General Vague. There's so many people, Nuke Dukem. Thank you guys so much, for real. Gamer Geek, I saw you in the chat. Really appreciate you. Alex vs. Evil, like the usual suspects. I really appreciate y'all. But we are gonna end it here, guys. If you haven't, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Follow all these creators, for real. If you haven't caught their shit in the chat, I did have direct like links to their stuff in the description below. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, we are out. Peace.
Bye, scumbags. Bye, scumbags.